Everybody, happy snow day, happy Sunday. This is the Black Wolf Rebel Show plus Courtney Black Wolf Project. Black Wolf Project. Don't get confused, right? You like us saying that,
She's
but we gonna
she's
have a
she's
little bit
she's
of fun
also part
today.
of the Black Wealth Rebels. That was unnecessary.
No,
I'm sorry.
she hasn't formally joined. She feels like it's beneath her. But
Whoa, he's
that's
starting
what
off.
she said.
He's starting off.
That's what she said.
I did not say that. What is that? How is that a direct quote? How is that a direct quote? I
All
never
right,
said
I'll go ahead and pull out the scripture.
Please.
But anyway,
Please
welcome
do.
everybody. Today we're going to have a great show. Everybody's snowed in, and we are going to talk about white lies that many of us believe. So we're going to have a funky good time. What's up, Courtney? Thank you for joining us today, Queen.
Kamar, you're really pushing it today. You're really pushing it today. You're pushing
You are the queen, though.
I am a queen, but that is not how you meant it backstage.
I'm
not really sure that's how you meant it here.
Listen, I swear on Black Jesus' foot, that is what I meant.
Yo,
Jimmy.
I listen. I don't know why he starts off with the madness, man. Come on, what's up, man? You all right, man?
Love you, what's up, Jim? How you doing, man?
Hey, man, listen. I'm excited. I'm happy to be here, man. The snow is coming down, man. You know, shout out to everybody who's like raising their rates on snow removal. So you know, I get it. Supply and demand.
Man, listen, did you see the tweet I just the IG I just sent you?
No, I didn't. Let me check. I mean,
my man said he trying to pay somebody 3 G's today.
Sheesh.
Yeah,
3 G. Yeah, trying to pay 3 G's or something. Really, he got trying to mess around, man. It's a liability. It's a risk issue.
Hey, listen, man. I get it. I totally get it, man. I totally get it. Listen. So shout out to my guy, A-Lee. A-Lee gonna handle this for me. So.
You know. Okay. And he does snow removal too?
Yes, he does.
All right, that's what's up. Shout out to A-Lee. Now, all right, before we get started, Jim, I want you to see this. I don't know why this is happening. No, serious.
I don't know when it comes to you, man. I don't know what you got to start with.
I'm serious. Look, Happy New Year, Happy Kwanzaa, and welcome to 2026. It keeps posting. I mean, I believe all those things, but why does it keep posting? Today's first.
You must have did something on StreamYard or something because it keeps posting that. I have no idea why you keep posting that.
I guess. I don't know. But I don't know what you mean when you say I'm always up to something. I don't like how that sounds. Listen, but today I do have a little bit of cabin fever. You know, I was trying to pull up the bedside Baptist before I went out and walked my dog, but that didn't go too right. But then I did see this.
Evening. Just wanted to remind us that due to inclement weather, church tomorrow is canceled. Get your ass out the camera.
What? What's going on?
I didn't do bedside Baptist, so you know. Listen, I want to be a pastor. I think there might be new goals right there.
I don't know how serious you are about that, man.
Listen, I'm suffering from cabin fever myself, so pardon me, I'm a little.
The reason I say that is because I know that you're a tax guy, right?
Correct. And one of the best tax loopholes is
the church.
And I've said to you before, we should start our own church.
So for me, I'm like, are you? I don't know, you know, whether this is just you trolling or are you actually serious?
No, I don't want to start a church because
interesting. It's a lot of responsibility, man. Also, all right, listen, real quick, while I got you guys on here, I can ask you guys this live. What are you guys doing on March 7th?
That's really far in the future.
That's on purpose. That is on purpose.
Something on February 7th.
I said March 7th.
I don't know what March 7th is.
That's a Saturday. That's the first Saturday.
Yes. Yes. So with that being
February
said,
7th is the first Saturday. No.
Yeah, February 7th is a Saturday in February. I don't know what the first Saturday is. Actually, maybe it is in March as well.
Well, right. March and February usually mirror.
So
all right. So what you got?
So Inspiring Minds. We're having our youth conference. You guys both came to last year to speak to the babies. So I want to know, can you guys come back and speak to the baby?
Okay.
So all right, I got a confirmation from Courtney. I'll send you the form, Kamari.
So March 7th is also our first Saturday of the month. So
I'll
come after that, of course.
Okay. I was trying to figure out a way to kind of like work it in together. Like, what if I can get? Anyway, that's either here nor there. We'll figure that out.
I mean, you want to have everybody come there? I'm down with that.
We could.
I'm not
We
opposed to that.
we
Would your
absolutely
people be
could.
good with it?
Absolutely. Listen, we'll figure things out. But
Listen, I
I'm
love.
asking a question while we on the collaboration over competition come up. But I'm asking a question while you on live. That way, I can hold you accountable because everybody heard you say what you said.
Listen, I love what y'all are doing. Anytime I'm available, I'm there. Say
Yeah,
less.
yeah. We're actually trying to take a group of kids to Ghana right now. So that's like one of the things that we're working
I'm
on.
trying to
Yeah,
get the gun. Jeez.
yeah, man.
Maybe
Listen, man.
can
It's
I be a
we
chaperone?
try. Listen, we are that's possible. We are putting in good work, man. So I want to say thank you and salute to everybody from Inspiring Minds, man. It's that's what it's really about. With that
So
being said, though,
before we get going too much, I want to say thank you to PNBR. They gave me,
yes,
Jimmy, and Corey awards last night for our community service. So
yes,
I feel really good about that.
yes, absolutely. And
Where's your plaque, Jimmy? Where's your trophy? You ain't got it.
so I don't have it up here. I got a couple of my other ones up here, though.
I mean, I got other two, but I also got Corey's. So Corey got one as well.
My other one, I was so hyped last night. I have it like downstairs, prominently displayed. You know what I'm saying? I definitely should bring it up to put next to the other ones. But I got a couple different awards, man. But no, but here's the thing, though. Getting awards for community work is always amazing. But this one was amazing specifically because of the organization. So a lot of people are not familiar with the National Association of Real Estate Brokers. And like I told them last night, when I accepted the award, I accepted it on behalf of Tracy, right? And the reason I did that is because
That was dope, by the way. That was
thank you,
super
brother.
dope.
Thank you. But one of the reasons is because Tracy is the reason I got involved years ago with NAREP, right? And she knew how to get me. We went out to lunch one day, and she was like, "You got to get involved with NAREP," and I'm like, "Another organization?" And she was like, breaking down the history of NAREP, and she knew that was going to make it work. So for those who don't know, back in like 1947, so there's a National Association of Realtors, which everybody is familiar with. But what they're not familiar with and may not be familiar with is early on they didn't allow black people. Right? It just didn't allow black folks to be a member. And so we did what we always do. We created our own, which is called the National Association of Real Estate Brokers. And instead of being called a realtor, you're considered a realtist. And they become housing advocates. They work on the front lines with Dr. King. They've advocated for also, they were part of the people advocating for the 1968 Civil Rights. But the work has always been surrounding housing. And it still exists to this day. So people who are members of NARAB are black folks that are realtists, also people in construction, developers, title companies. It's just like a network of black real estate professionals.
Yeah, it was
So
super dope. I was so impressed.
Yeah, so the thing about getting awarded from them is super dope because first of all, it was surprise. Me and Kamari were just going to support. And next thing you know, they're calling us up on stage, like giving us an award. So it was.
And one of the people who tricked us is here in the comments.
Hey, Liz. Liz,
how are you?
Liz, listen, we are still we're talking about NARAB and talking about PNBR specifically, which is the Philadelphia chapter. By the way, Liz
Congratulations to Liz, yeah.
Liz is on the board and the vice president now. So that was why we were going. We were really going to support Liz. That's the crazy part.
Shad, both of
That's
them.
right. Yes.
Yep.
So but no, we were really honored by that award and humbled by that award because again,
beyond honored, like
when you know the history, it just means a lot. And also, like I was telling you, the connection with Tracy, kind of like so that's the thing. But thanks, Liz. We appreciate you.
Shout out to Tracy, still dictating stuff from the afterlife.
Absolutely.
That's dope. Talk about a legacy. That is a legacy. All right, but before we get any further, what up, GC? How are you? Welcome. Anthony, hello. I see you got both your joints in here today. Don Johnson's in the building. What up, baby?
Don, what's good?
Wow. How are you? Yes, I'm trying to be safe. I had to walk my dog in inclement weather. It was
please be safe out there, y'all, because I see some of y'all on my timeline tripping too, talking about this is all they got for me. Like, where's the rest? I'm like, yo, it ain't stopped yet.
Where's the rest? Oh,
I'm like, it ain't stopped yet. Like, what we talking about? At least where I'm at, it ain't stopped.
Yeah, that's wild. Wild.
People be doing anything to get clicks, right? It's funny because I find myself not using Twitter as much as I used to. Because once Elon,
Twitter, what do you mean by not as much as you used to?
I go to check news to see what's going on in the news, but I don't spend time on there the way I used to. The reason is because since he cut on the faucet, so to speak, where he's paying people, he pays based on engagement. It has nothing to do with your follower count. People will write and say the craziest things. They're rage baiting, they're egregious, but what it does is it gets them comments.
Gotcha.
And then they'll straight use the comments, right? They'll build up this crazy conversation and thread, and then they'll get paid for it.
Crazy.
Right, and then they'll share what they got paid for it, which becomes a whole other thing, a thread about how they got paid for it. I'm like, but they're just rage baiting.
Mm-hmm. So this
Mario,
is
that's a lot going. Is that AI or is that real?
Oh, that's real. That is real, Courtney.
We don't know what you know more.
We don't
That's
know.
Good.
We really don't.
Keep guessing. Keep guessing. Keep y'all on y'all toes. Now, listen, my dog was being a little recalcitrant this morning, y'all. You know.
Oh, SAT
That's
word.
an SAT word.
Oh, boy. Here we go. Here we go. Oh, because Courtney's a part of the gang too. She's affiliated. She's only 1 block away. So we got Central and we got Girls High here.
Oh,
so yeah, they're going to gang.
That's right. That's right. That's our
I'm
sister
not.
school.
I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy.
Here you go. Yo, is your school in the chopping block?
You like forget this snow?
Does he have little things on his feet?
No booties. You gotta show them how fly you are. He ain't gonna walk. No.
That's why, because you needed booties on his feet. His feet
I'm
are
not
cold.
giving. Listen, it's bad enough he got a jacket looking fly like he a GQ model. I'm not giving my dog no booties. That really defeats the purpose of having a dog. Like I'm not one of those guys that's gonna carry my dog in my purse or bag.
How did we get from booties to keep their feet warm in the snow?
That's an amazing stretch.
Okay, all right. Here's a question for you. What did they do before humans entered the picture? Did they have booties? Did they have jackets? Did they have vests? No, they just braved the snow.
Right, but they're also now domesticated, so they were out in the elements all the time before.
I'm undomesticating him. Listen, you didn't see. He wants to frolic in the snow. He wants to frolic. He was just showing off just then. Let me see if I can find this other one.
Some of this is troubling. It's not on the dog. It is not on the dog.
Not on the dog?
No.
Okay. All right. I'm sorry I hurt your feelings. I'm sorry.
Are you talking to the dog?
Talking to you. Talking to you.
Hurt my feelings? What are you talking about?
You said it's troubling. I'm sorry. Listen, he ain't got no feelings. He's a dog. Feeding.
Wow, he doesn't have any feelings. He's a dog. That's how you feel?
Yes, actually, that is how I feel. I'm not
dogs don't have feelings. I see why your dog treats you. I see why your dog treats you the way you do.
Maybe I'm not qualified. Maybe I'm not qualified. All right, but in serious news, everybody's up in arms about Bill Ackman, wrongly so. So we saw Joy Reid and a couple other people said that Bill Ackman gave
Bill Ackerman,
whatever his name is. I don't even care. Some dude, the racist dude, the anti-DEI dude, gave $15,000 to an ICE agent. And then everybody now wants to boycott Chipotle.
So a couple things. So first, I mean, I think all the things can be true at the same time. So one, he is not affiliated with Chipotle anymore, but he did have a significant stake in Chipotle from maybe 16 to like 2024. He was, in terms of percentage of shares, he was like 9.9%, which is slightly like right under the threshold by the SEC to become an insider or be considered
but he's
an insider.
Not there now. So
hold on, I haven't gotten there. I'm not done yet. Thank you. Not done yet. Thank you.
Go ahead.
So I think that's an important point, that he was affiliated with Chipotle, but the other side of it is that he was never the CEO. So that's the other side of it. But he also did contribute to the fund for the ICE agent who shot and killed. Her name was Renee, correct?
Yeah.
Yes, Renee something.
I think it's good, but I didn't want to.
ICE just shot 2 more people in Minnesota, which is crazy.
Which is crazy. So I think all of the things. So his relationship to Chipotle is false, his current relationship doesn't exist at all. He did have a relationship. He was a very large stakeholder of Chipotle, but that terminated around 2024. But he did contribute to the fund for the ICE officer who did injure and kill Renee Good. So I think we want to be very clear about all the things, what's right and what's wrong.
Correct.
It's important.
But Chipotle has nothing to do with this at all.
No.
And I'm not standing up for them, but it's just like you want to have their reporting.
Yeah, Chipotle said, keep us out the group chat, yo. Kick us out the group chat because we don't want nothing to do with this.
Kamari, can you pull that up? Because they definitely were in the comments. I was like, whoa, Chipotle. I mean,
Was
they
it in
should
this
be.
one or was
No,
it?
they were in Joy Ann Reid's comments. Like,
Yes,
we
they
ain't got
were.
nothing to do with this. Leave us out of this. Like,
Alright.
so that's the thing, man.
That's wild. I mean, so that's why before you start to repost and post things, you got to do a quick Google search. It takes 30 seconds, people. I'm guilty of it myself, though. I mean, I'm not even going to lie and say that I've never found something that I posted that was inaccurate, but I did take it down, or I would either say, this is wrong.
I'm glad you guys did research because my immediate research. I was trying to figure out where I was getting my burrito bowls from, But
you know what? I would rather go to Qdoba than Chipotle, to be honest.
that's debatable. The burrito, I mess with the burrito
How are you
bowls
going to tell me
specifically.
it's debatable? It's what I want.
Well, no, I'm talking about me. Well, for me, right? So,
Oh.
so I'm not talking about you. I can't speak to your terrible taste buds. I'm just saying, like,
Oh.
No, man. I'm just no slander of good brother. I'm just mad that you said dogs don't have feelings, man. I feel some type of way about that because I'm a dog lover.
So there's always slander with you. You
No, it's
can't
not.
help it.
I will never slander you, man. It's all love.
So
Oh,
I
look
think,
at this. Courtney's in the group chat already.
yeah, I had to say something.
You did?
I did.
Okay.
And because I like Joy. I think she's dope.
I do too.
All those things. So
Yeah. And
and
she
again, I
usually
think
does great work.
yeah, and we can all, and I think Kamara, you hit the nail on the head, is that we can all make mistakes. I make mistakes all the time. So again, it's about clarifying. I think at this point we probably should take it down, but it is getting a lot of engagement. So maybe no, I don't know, but it is not true.
So here's the funny thing, right? While it's inaccurate, it's feeding the algorithms. So it's good for her. So she still wins. But Chipotle said Bill Aikman, did I get it right this time, Jenny?
Bill
Is
Ackerman.
not our CEO. Aikman, right?
Ackerman. Aikman played quarterback. His name
There
is
is no
Ackerman.
ER. There's no ER in this.
That's how he pronounces his name is Bill Ackerman.
Okay. All right. He is not affiliated with Chipotle and is no longer a shareholder of the company.
Yeah, what I said.
So, yeah. A lot of this was a whole lot to do about nothing. But
But why is he
for him,
contributing anything to the ICE officer? I mean, we know why,
Correct.
but why? Like why?
You know why?
Like you shot somebody, sir. I'm still trying to figure out why they have guns.
When people show you who they are, believe them.
You trying to figure out why they got guns. I'm trying to figure out why they even exist. But
Well,
what's funny is I saw some black dude somewhere talking about all the great that Trump has done. But by my estimate, everything he's done is fucked up. So what was the agency? Doge?
Doge.
I think Doge actually cost the government more money than they allegedly say.
Well, let's talk about Doge. The reason why we really were unclear about what was going to go on with this weather is because part of the Doge cuts affected NOAA, which is the National Oceanic something. Like they deal with the weather. I can't give you the full name.
But they're the
deal
ones
with
who
it.
track all the weather and the tornadoes and hurricanes. And it's already been documented that they fucked that up a couple of times already.
Right. So National Oceanic and Atmospheres Administration, that's NOAA. So they basically did a lot of Doge cut in NOAA, more specifically with their scientists that assess the weather. So like it's just again, I think the thought of Doge cuts, and this is my opinion, is that they were looking to cut the public or the government service and then outsource it and privatize it. Like, I think that's the whole point. It's about privatization, everything. And it's like, listen, the government does a service. NOAA is a service. And it's not just a service for like everyday people. It serves a service for a multitude of things. It's just very frustrating that and I say this to people all the time, I say this at work, before we get rid of something, let's figure out how it works and what the function of it is.
Correct. I would agree. But part of the problem is, and some people think Doge is a great idea, and they think government spending is out of control, which it is, right? But like Courtney just said, let's figure out how it works and what it does, because not only did they cut NOAA, they cut the IRS.
Well,
then they wound up
to me,
having to bring people back, which wound up costing more money, in my opinion.
So that's the thing, right? People move off of emotion and not data and facts all the time. And when you look at how some of these things operate, it's like when someone gets a 0% credit card offer, right? And they pay off their credit card, but they don't close the credit card, so now they owe the 0% company and the other credit card. It's like they're just playing a game. They're playing a shell game.
Or do they just move that
because
balance to another place and they keep spending?
But that's my point. My point is they're just playing a shell game. You're not really getting to the source of the problem, which is the spending. You're still spending. You're spending billions of dollars to say that you're trying to bleed the spending, which make that make sense, right? So it's a lot of our problems really come down to government spending. That's what a lot of it really goes down to, right? Is government spending, which leads to all kinds of other things. Everything is connected. Once we realize that everything is connected, the better off we'll be. But there's an issue when it comes to government spending that hasn't stopped. It hasn't stopped under any of our presidents. And until I shouldn't say any of our presidents. We did have some presidents that kind of got the spending under control. But for the most part, historically speaking, for the most part, most of our spending has been out of control. And to say
Yeah.
you're going to fix it by spending money is a problem.
So, yes, I want to go back to the government spending part because
Mhm.
one of the things you can look at, like DOD, like when you look at the actual cost of maintaining the military, it's really not that much. It's really the contracts.
Yeah.
So I think we have to look at, yes, because I think when we kind of do a broad stroke or a broad brush, oh, government spending, but we don't
Mhm.
really look at what the government is spending on, then I think we get ourselves into trouble because we start cutting things. We're like, well, are we cutting? And I mean, I don't know if you've ever known any any retired vets. I mean, or I should say retired vets, but veterans. I mean, they go through the ringer to get the basic things that they need. When
Yep.
more
Yeah.
or less
So
they
so
were
so
like,
yeah.
go
So
ahead.
I'm just talking about being more responsible with it, not necessarily stopping the spending because the government spending is necessary. There's a certain
Right.
level of spending that is necessary to maintain our way of life. I totally get that. But you're right. There is a lot of fat as it pertains to private contracts. And if any of you have ever worked in the private sector,
Work.
you know that when you get a government contract, like I've been in places where the cost is one thing unless you're charging the government. Then it's a whole other cost, right? That's a thing. Let's be honest, right? So I get it, but the strategy that was used here was kind of wild because the money that it cost to run that organization didn't
Hmm.
really it's more the
Right,
same.
because the strategy that they used was to tell lies, and they wanted to really attack things that's always been on the Republican cutting block. IRS being one of them. Some of the other quote unquote social services they
Mhm.
wanted to attack. Even in this big, ugly bill, I read it's called the big, what is it, the beautiful big bill. I call it the
OBB.
beautiful, I call it the beautiful ugly bill because look at how much money they're cutting from SNAP and other benefits to low income individuals. But nobody's talking about that. They're just talking about the potential tax cuts. But that's not necessarily a good thing. And they just lumped it all in a whole lot of pork barrel politics. What I do find interesting though is they never attack or hold the wealthy as accountable as they try to do the poor.
Well, hold. Here's my question to you. When you say they, who do you mean? You say the wealthy never hold the wealthy accountable?
The government. I mean, because they're
Well,
wealthy too, right?
who
The
controls the
government.
government?
The
All right,
government.
so all right. By the way, Dr. King talks about this in his book. By the way, y'all gonna keep
Which
hearing me
book?
mention this
I
book. The
know.
one I
So
just
which
mentioned.
book?
Where do we
Which
go
book?
from here?
Okay.
Chaos,
Chaos for
or
community.
community? Yeah. Actually talks about in this book. He talks about like all the he doesn't use the term technology, but that's what he's really, paraphrasing. All the technology that's played to really keep poor people at each other, poor and working class people, how he defines it, to keep us at each other, and not really paying attention to what's going on because we're constantly fighting with each other and we're constantly separating ourselves in various ways, whether that's through race. I mean, even these days we delineate between even our own black folks. Like but that's constantly being done to keep us not really paying attention to what's really going on. And by the way, Dr. King wrote this in the '60s, and I see it in
Now,
2026.
same
Right?
problems now.
Yeah, he's really a prophet. So um, that's the issue right there.
Was he really a prophet, or did he just have great common sense? And it's like, if we keep doing the same nonsense, we're going to keep getting the same results.
Both
And I love
two
Dr.
things.
King, so
Two,
that's not a shot at him.
no, I think both. Like it's funny rereading this book and hearing things in his words, and not just. And see, this is by the way, this I did a whole video about this in a village, like my review on the book. But reading his words is interesting because what it made me realize is most people don't study Dr. King. Most people know the "I Have a Dream" speech,
They know the
um,
sound bites.
but they've never actually read his words or listened to his speeches to actually hear some of his thoughts and how he articulated himself and how he actually cared about it. But he talks about this, and again, this is in the '60s. But the same thing happens today, where they're constantly keeping us at each other, fighting and arguing about things that really are meaningless. Um, and not really focusing on what's happening, which is grifting and people taking advantage of poor and working class people.
Well, they think of poverty as a disease. It's something that you have. Like, I think we put a level of virtue on someone, and we think we talk about this a lot. We put virtue on the fact that someone is wealthy. Because they're wealthy, they must be good, they must be intelligent, they must be all of these things. And if you're poor, then you must be stupid, you must be lazy, and it's all of these, you know, kind of maligning poor people with these certain types of characteristics, which usually aren't the case. If hard work was indicative of wealth, I can tell you that there's a lot of people that are poor that would be wealthy if hard work was the standard, and that's not true.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
I think I don't know how we got here, in terms of doing, or like making, kind of giving these people who have wealth, a level of reverence that is clearly undeserving.
Hey, listen, I was telling Kamari yesterday. I said it's some bad people in the world with great PR, and it's some
Hmm.
good people who it's some good people in the world who don't have PR, right?
And it's
So
funny. Okay, Jim.
no, I was just saying, like there's so much truth in what Courtney just said, and I think that what she just said, if we really focus on that, I mean, we'd be in a better shape overall, because you can't assign any sort of virtue to someone's wealth, specifically when a lot of wealth is generated from nefarious means, and a lot of it is traveled generation to generation. There are people right now who don't work or do anything because of decisions that were made, by their ancestors, right? So you can't really assign any sort of virtue. Some terrible people that are poor, some terrible people that are wealthy, right? It's not
Hmm.
really, your wealth can't really define who you are as a person. So that's problematic that we do that. And I know Kamari's gonna get pissed when I say this, but I think it's true, and I'm not slandering it. But a lot of
It's
this
not
is,
true. But go ahead. I know you're about to say. Go ahead.
you
Go
know,
ahead.
because you know exactly what I say. A lot of this is a result of capitalism, right? And again, when I say that, I'm not saying that there's, because I know people are like, well, you always say that, but what is the communism? I'm not bringing up communism, social. I'm not saying we should do any of those things.
Hmm. Okay.
I'm just saying that capitalism tends to breed a certain kind of mindset and a mentality, the dog eat dog mentality, where people don't think more communal and they're thinking about themselves and how to exploit people. Right.
And so
That's all I'm saying.
I don't necessarily agree with you, but I do. I will say this. I think we focus on the wrong shit. Like, I see people talk about capitalism being anti-capitalism. Here's the thing: people ain't shit. That's point blank. The whole world runs on gangs, not just the black and red ones, right? And we all talk and talk crazy about them, but the police are a gang, the Republicans are a gang, the Democrats are a gang. Who has the most resources? That's all the gangs care about, right? And so at the end of the day, if your gang ain't got the resources, your gang will always be shit upon, whether it's socialism, because guess what? All the oligarchs in Russia, they run their gang to benefit for them. All the people in France, again, another quote unquote socialistic country, they have extreme poverty and extreme wealth. And so in all these places where they have all these other isms, they still got the extremes. So I think we should just focus on people not being shit instead of the quote unquote ism. That's all I got. That's all I got.
No, again, I'm not. Listen, I understand what you're saying, but I was just saying that it does tend to breed a certain mentality, right? It just, I mean, it's just a fact. To me, it is, at least. Right? It's just a, I know you may think it's an alternative fact, but it does tend to breed a certain thing. Now, I'm not,
So
I'm not, I'm not, but
but
I'm
I'm
not, but
asking
I'm,
you,
when I say that, I'm not debating isms. It's not what I'm doing.
I know, but my question is, right, you say it breeds a certain mentality, but you have the
Mhm.
same mentality across the world that's not quote unquote a capitalistic society. So is it really capitalism,
So I
or
don't.
is it people just ain't shit? Just
So I think you both have some valid points. I think capitalism as we know it in the United States is a problem. But what we know in the United States actually is not capitalism. If at the very minimum it's like corporate socialism, because again, one of the things that's not,
corporatism.
would you say?
It's corporatism because the
Yeah,
court,
like,
and
one of
you
the
can
things
speak to that better than any of us because it's a legal thing. But I'm sorry, go ahead.
but you have, what's supposed to happen is you're supposed to have these free markets in capitalism. You're supposed to have a goods and services, a purchase of goods and services at the best cost and the demand curve, and the government is not supposed to intervene in the transaction,
And they do.
and they do, and
All
they do so much on the side of business across the board. So again, when we look at the tax code, I mean, when you look at the section that applies to personal taxes and personal deductions, and then you go into the portion that deals with business tax and business deductions and corporations, you're going to see a difference, and it's going to lend in this on the side of corporations. So if we're looking at a capitalist society with a free market free from government intervention, this ain't it. So I hear you. Conceptually, what the United States has and does is not capitalism, and it's very problematic. But it's very problematic. But the things that make it problematic are the things that make it not capitalism.
Hey, listen, as Dr. King says in his book too. By the way, I'm quoting the book because again, top of mind. He talks about the fact that they want us to practice capitalism, but until the actual corporations go broke, then they practice socialism at their level. But the working man, as he often says in the book several times, the poor and working class man, they want us to practice one thing, but at the top level, they don't practice the same thing that we do.
But see, we
I
can
did that. I'm gonna give you Dr. King's bars, not mine. Come on.
No, I got you. Listen, I love Dr. King, but right, we can do a lot of the same things the rich do, and I actually hate making that comparison, right? But we can come together because when you look at it,
Human trafficking.
when you look at boards of directors,
Please hold on for a second. Just hold
No,
I
on.
mean, he
I-
said he
go-
said he wants to do what the rich do. I was just asking, what's he
go ahead,
speaking
Courtney.
of?
Go ahead. You want to go into his foolishness? Go ahead. What you got? What you
I just
got?
had to pause. There wasn't even getting into the foolishness. I just had to take a quick pause on that. I was just like, wait, what?
He said he wants to do. He said he wants to do. He said he wants to do what the rich do. I know what he meant by that. Like,
Yeah, but listen, what do we see? What did Rockefeller do? Everybody likes to talk about Rockefeller.
I mean, which part you want to talk
I
about?
got you. He broke a lot of laws, right? He robbed a lot of people, but he also worked with a lot of people, a lot of times to his advantage, right? But he used a teamwork framework. Yes, he did benefit from it, but there's a lot of other people who use teamwork. Wealth is a team sport. I know it's becoming cliche now, but it really is a team sport. So how do we figure out to say, all right, you know what? Our gang's at the bottom right now. What are we going to do to change things?
I like it. I like your optimism and everything, but I just don't like the
optimism. But what are we going to do?
I just don't like the comparisons to people in industrialists and people from the Gilded Age, because when you get into the history of the things they did, there's nothing beautiful about it. There's nothing honorable about it, and it's actually pretty.
But here's the thing: it doesn't have to be beautiful. It's like it's a fight, right? I know you are big in sports, Jimmy. I'm sure you're big into boxing. Not all boxing matches are pretty. Not all fights are pretty. Sometimes they're doggy dog, they're bloody, and people get hurt. All right, but we're getting all the hurt, and we're not dishing out any blows. We're not punching back at all. So what are we going to do? That's my question. What are we going to do? It's great.
No, but hear me out.
What are we going to do?
We're doing it. We do exactly what we already are doing, right? We work and build as a community. However, what I'm saying is just the juxtaposition of us and some of the folks you're mentioning, I think is shouldn't be done, for one, because for two, there were systems and laws and things in place that allow them to exploit and take care of folks in a way that we don't have. So we can't operate the way a Rockefeller did, per se, just using this example you used, because again, the system's working exactly the way it's supposed to. We don't have, the complexion for the connection, so to speak. So
we just talked about anti-Semitism and how
Yes.
everybody is anti-Semitic.
Mhm.
But history will show you that anti-Semitism has been around for a long time, and Jews have been the underdog for a very long time. But they figured out a way to take the whole world, put them under their thumb. They're a minority, a super minority, but they have a large majority of the wealth. Why is that?
Some will say that statement in itself is anti-Semitic, but I digress.
But I digress. You can find the facts to prove that, though.
But here's what,
as a group.
But here's what I'll tell you: their experience, right, on this continent is not the same as ours. No matter how they were treated, no one on this planet, right, has the experience that we have, or has been treated the way that we have at every level. Whether we're talking about education, whether we're talking about law, whether we're talking about, food deserts, whatever you want to talk about, there is no one that has been treated the way we have. So the idea of just comparing like us to someone else, and it's not to say that you can't take things from other cultures, other people, but we have to be careful in doing that, right? because a
All
lot of
right, but
times
you all,
we
we all
we
know
tend.
that. Everybody here knows that, right?
No,
So
everybody doesn't know that.
everybody that's listening to this knows that.
We don't know where this will
But
go.
here,
That's the
no, no,
first thing.
no,
We
but
don't know where this will go. So you got to be
no, no,
careful
no.
with what
I
you
do know,
say.
but my question is, what do we do? Because we
I
can
already
say
answered that.
our experience is not like anybody else's.
It's true.
Sure, we don't none of model anybody else, but we need to model somebody.
Do we?
Yes, absolutely.
We,
Because what we're doing is not working.
we need to live in our divine purpose. What you mean what we're doing is not working, right?
Okay.
So the reason I say that is because
And what does Diamond Dave tell you?
what's that? Which part? Diamond Dave tells me a lot. So shout out to Diamond Dave. I learned a lot
Shout
from
out to
Diamond
Diamond
Dave.
Dave.
But I don't know which specific things.
Diamond Dave says your method will not work because you're too nice. And our divine purpose is to be nice. I will grant you that. Black people are divine.
See, but what you're saying is you want to, and I hate when people do that. You got to be
You
like
have to
this or be like that.
Audible, Jimmy. You're a sports guy called Audible.
Why? I mean, because everything that you're talking about doing, you're acting like we don't have people that have tried it, right? People that have tried it, but yet and still it doesn't work because we're not looking at the full picture. You have to take all the variables into account when you just make blanket statements like we got to be like these, or we got to be like that. Well, you can't really do that. You can't really do that. It doesn't work.
I really hate that statement too, but go ahead.
I understand that, but what I'm saying is if we're gonna really do something, it's a nuanced and complex conversation. It can't just be as simple as be like this or be like that because they don't have the same obstacles that we may have. And sometimes, so hear me out. What tends to happen when you make blanket statements like that is you start victim blaming and you start talking about the reason we don't do this is because it starts to get pound cakeish, for lack of a better term.
Pound cakeish, but
it does get pound cakeish
all around us because I asked you a question
and I answered your question. I said we do what we're doing. I already answered that question.
What exactly is
and I answered that too. I said we build together as a community. I've already answered the question.
In what way? In what way specifically? Not this general. What way?
What way? We build community network systems.
The Jews build together as a community.
Stop doing that though. Who cares what they do? Let them do what they do.
What they do.
But why do we care what they do? We're not them. We're not them.
What do they say?
Unless you want to say the original, you're the original. Huh?
Success leaves crews. So why not?
Nah.
Listen, I love to study war, right? And everybody says, well, America can't do this and America can't do that. Well, when America went to Vietnam, they lost. And what did they do? The Vietnamese worked together. So yes, I want to look at everybody and I want to see what works and what doesn't work. Doesn't matter. It's not victim shaming. Go ahead, Courtney.
A couple things. There's a couple.
I'm sorry, Courtney. We were all over the place.
Y'all are all over the place.
It's a snow day. We got cabin fever.
Clearly, y'all just all over. But I think a couple things. So the first thing is success does leave clues. So I think that's the first thing. But I think also Jimmy brings up a valid point is that nobody has had the experience that the African in America has had. We just, no one has.
Where else? Not just the African American, African Jamaica, the African Ghana.
I'm just telling you, I can only speak. I'm African and American. I can only speak for this experience.
I like the
terminology. He just want to argue, Courtney. You gotta ignore him.
You just want to argue, which is go off. But I think that's the other thing is that no one has had our experience, and until because there's so many things that we do in like just naturally. The sense of building community, the sense of doing all those things, the sense of us being very clear about we are community driven and minded. And the quicker and with more intensity that we get to that point, the better off we'll be. I can't account, and to Jimmy's point, I can't account for what somebody else does. I can't account for what any other group does. And you know what? I don't really care.
Thank you. That's all I'm saying.
Like, I just don't care. Like go off. I mean, go off, do what makes it work for you. It doesn't really have any bearing on, my success or my lack of success based on what they're doing. Now, the second thing, the Vietnam War, I think honestly, that's probably one of the craziest wars that I've seen. Because first of all, how you gonna go to somebody else's house? Like you violated like some real hood rules here, and you got your tush tossed, and that's that. I mean, you went to somebody else's house and you tried to fight them in their neighborhood. They were they talked about the Viet Cong and how they were doing all these things. It's like you went to the jungle. We don't got no jungles in America. Like you can't even adequately train for that. It was a foolish thing that we did, and we got messed up as a result. So I think that's something we can learn from. Don't go to somebody else's house and cut up like that.
Yeah.
So it sounds like you agree with me, but okay.
So that's what you got from everything she said?
I'm still waiting for the action items, Jimmy. But okay, I know we're not
I
going to get.
literally told you to do what we're doing. What specifically do you
Okay,
want? Do you
all
want
right.
like, hey, put your left shoe on first? Like,
No. So listen, I think we should be building like Reverend Leon Sullivan, specifically. Pull
are
our
we not
minutes
already
together.
are we not already doing that?
Where they're being done now, right now.
Right now,
Yeah.
listen, our investment club, the whole premise of
No,
that
it's
was
not the
based on
same.
the
It's
no,
not
it
the
is the
same. But I'm
same.
gonna leave that up.
No,
It's not.
no, no,
It
no.
is not.
It
It is
took
not.
okay.
Go
It's
ahead.
debatable. It's debatable. Right, because
Okay.
what you're talking about in terms of what he did, the 1036 plan being one part of it, which I think you're specifically speaking to, right? It's a to the point that was made in here, right? That Anthony made that it's a different day and time, and things look different. You can't do exactly like word for word exactly what he did, but you do it in different ways. We have to operate in a different paradigm now. We're living in a technological society. The idea, though, the energy, the spirit of building with your fellow person, taking small amounts and bringing them together, that is being replicated. And I'm not just saying just that; it's being replicated in multiple places. Because I know other investment clubs and other people that are building together, and people that look like us. Because the true wealth is a network, and that's exactly what's being built. That's what Reverend Leon Sullivan did: was create
That's
a
a part
network.
of it. That's a part of it.
He's
And I mean,
created a
listen,
network, right? And the thing is, his also was faith based, which gave it a different level. Because again,
so do we all
looking
need
at
to become Christians and Muslims?
no,
Salam
no.
alaikum.
So, now here's my other question to you, right? You like to say that, but the reason we have to move different is because if you want to be real, that he's the blueprint, but how did that translate to us overall right now? Right. So there were even issues with how that was built.
Correct.
So do we not learn from that and do better?
We should learn from all of it.
All right, so that's my point. But my point is pointing to this culture or that culture when everybody doesn't have the same experience is different. It's
It doesn't
difficult
matter
to
about
do.
the things. Listen, working together works across every culture, right? So I feel like sometimes we like to put up these, I hate to say these straw man arguments against certain things, but listen, unity is the one thing that works no matter who you are, where you are. And listen, not to be confused with this grandiose thing, unity is a fight, right? Working together is a fight. I'm not saying it's going to be easy. I'm not saying, yes, this is a simple issue.
But
It's not
you're
easy to do, though.
but you're speaking as if
I'm not trying to oversimplify it.
well, that's exactly what you're doing though, because you're
No, but
speaking
we
as
are
if
talking on YouTube and Facebook, so we can't go and have bullet points for each thing. So that's
no, but hear me out though. What I was talking about is just your juxtaposition with other cultures, right? None of us have ever said that we shouldn't be working together. We shouldn't be doing things. No one has ever said that. I was just
see
talking
people
about your
online
example
all
of
the time that say we should not be working together.
well,
see it all the time.
listen,
Maybe not
you,
you and I.
you need to clean your algorithm. That's first and foremost. That's the first part.
I'll
Right?
tell you what, I'll clean my algorithm after you clean yours. Let's do it together.
My algorithm is listen. First of all, my algorithm. The bad parts of my algorithm come from the people watching this right now. Because some of y'all be sending me some crazy stuff, right? But I digress. Because I love y'all anyway. I get both the ratchet and the righteous from the people that are watching this right now. So, but what I'm saying is, we know that we have to work together. Right? We know we have to work together. I'm just speaking specifically about the whole idea of that comparison points. That bothers me a little bit because it's just not the same, right? Listen, I played high school basketball at a time where we played against Kobe, right? And I tell the story often. That's when I realized I needed to focus on my studies because you see him come in the gym, he cooked the whole team. But that's not the point. The point is, my coach could have pointed at him and said, "Listen, he does this, he does that. It doesn't matter what he did, right? I don't have whatever abilities or connections or whatever he had. Don't matter, right? I got to be the best
at all. So
hear me out. Here. Can I finish? Can I finish?
I'm not sure where it's going. Go ahead.
He won't let me land the plane though. That's my point. My point is we have to be the best versions of ourselves, right? We don't need to look at other cultures because we can look within ourselves. We can look at our ancestors and our people. I don't care about what these other people have done. Let's look at what our people have done, right? We have people that have built. But let's figure out, to Anthony's point, a way to bring that into the modern times, right? Things take time, right? But we have the blueprint from our people. So why are we looking outside of our own folks? That's what I don't get.
Have you landed the plane, pilot?
Excuse me?
Have you landed the plane?
Go ahead, sir.
Okay, because you bring up Kobe. So you already know this. My two favorite basketball players of all time are two Lakers, Magic Johnson, Kobe Bryant. I think any basketball player can learn from them, right? One thing that Magic did when he was in Michigan, He would dribble up and down the block. Yes, Magic and Kobe have extraordinary physical, mental, basketball IQ. Yes, everybody's not going to have that. I got that. But practice does matter. It does matter. Everybody that has talent doesn't necessarily get.
Who said practice doesn't matter?
Can I finish? I let you land the plane, right? Can I finish?
You about to crash, though. I'm trying to save you from crashing.
I'm not crashing.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead, beloved. Go ahead.
Compare ourselves. We
All right,
shouldn't
go
do
ahead.
it.
Go ahead.
Well, I say
you on Frontier, but go ahead.
Listen, I flew Frontier to Puerto Rico. It was wonderful, by the way. It was a little rough in Philadelphia. However, I got there. But I'll say this, though. Kobe and Magic believed in practice. That's something we can learn from them. That's something we can model from them. Mamba mentality. I ain't got a problem with it. And if it was White, Larry Bird, or anybody else that said that, I'm cool with it. But I got it.
No, you missed everything I said. What I said is, if we're going to model, let's model after people that look like us that have already done it.
I know it.
Because,
I just said,
and the reason being is,
if I can learn from Bird, I would. I don't care who it is.
Again,
I want to
but
win.
hear me out though. Let's stay with this analogy though. The difference is, Bird has different obstacles or things that he has to deal with that we don't.
But practice is practice.
No,
Okay.
perfect.
All right,
Perfect
practice. All right.
Practice doesn't make practice doesn't make perfect. Perfect practice.
Okay.
All right. Right. But you could practice it. You could practice a bunch of bullshit. Like your practice doesn't mean anything.
But
it's what you're practicing.
If you're practicing, you're looking through practice. I want to practice like a Kobe. I want to practice like a Magic. I want to practice like a Bird.
I want to learn from Reverend Leon Sullivan. I want to learn from Fannie Lou Hamer, who's on my shirt right now. These are the people I want to study. I don't care to study all these other people all these people you look up to, the pale people you worship. I don't care about that.
See, that's the other thing, right? That's very disingenuous for you to say that because you're trying to win an argument.
I'm not even arguing with you, bro.
No. You already know that I worked with the people that rock with Reverend Sullivan. You already know that. So I'm doing all that. And I'm studying outside. So, I'm just looking for honest conversations. I just want to know why. I just want to know honest conversations. I don't think we have honest conversations.
Because you like to bring up people that are irrelevant to the conversation.
Listen, I want to bring up anybody I can learn from. I am humble enough to learn from anybody.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay.
So
all right, let's talk. Let's check in with the people. All right, Gordon, you got something.
All right, well, you can check in. So I think the other part of it is that how often do we actually sit down and learn from Leon Sullivan, from Dr. King? I think Jimmy talks about it a lot. We talk about the Dr. King speech all the time. But how many other books, he had the letter from the Birmingham jail. He has Where Do We Go From Here? We haven't actually sat down and read any of those books. We just take the I Have a Dream speech and we run with it. And we allow people to take from that speech and basically weaponize those words against us. Mm-hmm. And we don't have any response or any retort because we don't actually know that particular body of work and any of the rest of them. Yep. So I think when even Reverend Leon Sullivan, how many times have I gone past Progress Plaza and not even thought about it, about who started it, why it existed, any of those things. So I think one of the things that you both can agree on or both have said in different ways is that we have to study. And one of the things that we've gotten away from is studying and becoming the master of our craft. Because I think there's so many people that we have the talent, but we don't have the fortitude to pursue the talent with the practice necessary to become the master. And I think when we talk about, is Harvard better or whatever law school or whatever entity or educational pursuit, it's really not about the institution itself. It's about the practice that goes into it.
Mm-hmm. Well, since you brought up Harvard, let's talk about the topic we were supposed to talk about in the first place.
From wherever they from, this is like the cream of the crop. Mm-hmm. And I got there and I was like,
this it?
I know you lying. I'm looking around in these classrooms and I'm like, you're not, I mean, it's not a whole bunch of us. It's not a whole bunch of Black folks, obviously. So this comment isn't even really about us. It's really about the white majority. I was like, you're not smart. You're white. You had tutors your whole life. You had your parents investing thousands of dollars into your LSAT prep class. And they basically strong armed and shoehorned you in to this group of people. But I know so many Negroes in Savannah, Georgia, who ain't never left the city limits of Savannah from Yamacraw Village, who's smarter than you, but they ain't never had nobody paying for their education. They ain't never been to nobody private school. They ain't never been to nobody Kaplan class. So they're not here at Harvard. But y'all are. And it would be these same people that I'm like, bro, you mediocre as hell. Your parents just have money. And then you got the nerve to turn around and be talking about meritocracy. Are you serious? You're stupid, bruh. So I just got really, really pissed. Like when I tell you next level, my blood pressure high while I was in law school, because I was like, these people are dumb. And then they about to come out and run the world.
So, Courtney, you are the lawyer here. What do you think about that?
So I have my Harvard sweatshirt on just because
And
I
yeah,
went.
why do you have that on?
Because I went to Harvard. Because I went to Harvard. Like I want to be 100.
You went to Harvard Law?
Yes, I went. Yes, I have a certificate from Harvard Law. Like
Oh,
in
you have, okay.
negotiations.
I'm talking about the
Yeah.
actual studies.
Tell him again, Court.
Okay.
Tell him again, because he ain't hear
Come
you.
on. I have a certificate in negotiation from Harvard Law. Like, come on. So
Okay.
that's why I had the sweatshirt on. And so
Okay.
we were having the conversation. So I think part of it is being in the room and being able to talk about what the sister is referring to. Like I was there. I agree. Like all it is that you're rich. It's not that you're more special than anything else.
Mm.
You're just rich. You have money. That's
So
it.
none of us should go to Harvard then?
No, I'm not saying that at all. I mean, I think there's an opportunity in any
Yo, Kumar, you're hilarious, yo.
right. Like there's an opportunity in any educational pursuit. I want to be clear about that. However, I think we elevate some of these institutions beyond what we give more credit to some of these institutions beyond what we should. Like we put up Lincoln, we'll say, oh, Lincoln, Cheney, and we kind of put them off to the side. But then we say, well, Harvard, this and Yale, that. It's just like, no. I mean, even when you look at Lincoln, Albert Einstein was teaching at Lincoln.
I didn't know that.
We have,
Yes.
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 I mean, you have
There's pictures of it on the campus.
Yeah. I mean, so again, when we talk about it, is that we always look at these other institutions like they're better than us. And we kind of, and I just love how it is that some of us, and when they were talking about DEI, it wasn't, oh, well, they wanted, these students not to go to these students of color, I should say, not to go to these Ivy League institutions because of DEI, and they wouldn't be qualified any other way. That's not true. They actually, diversity, equity, inclusion made them go out into the world and find qualified candidates. That's what happened. And so again, but the inference is that we got we were, I guess we got a pass, or it was made easier for us, and that's never the case. Is that it's when we're looking to excel beyond the circumstance. And I just think we don't talk about that enough. Is that again, we use to say, oh, getting into Harvard, getting into Yale, getting all these places, cool, whatever, that's great, that's wonderful. But at the end of the day, is that it's an educational institution, and you can get an education somewhere else too. It is about the network though, because I think you can't undersell the network. You just can't. I have a friend of mine who went to Yale Law School who actually was in class with JD Vance. So you can't undersell the network.
Hopefully they don't think like JD Vance.
They do not.
Thank God. Thank God.
So I
Jimmy, what do you
think my thing is, I just want our people to know that we're enough. We're smart, we're bright, and we are enough. We have our own institutions that we need to do a better job of supporting. I was telling Kamari last year, one of the things I want to do is support a lot of our institutions, like whether that's PABJ, whether that's IBB, whether that's NARAB, all the different organizations that we have, the barristers, whatever that may be. We have our own organizations, and to understand that we are enough. Because what I find a lot of times is we don't feel like we're enough. We don't feel like our institutions are enough. Because again, that's not what's told to us. Mm-hmm. Speaking about Lincoln, I'm very proud to go to Lincoln because that's the school of Thurgood Marshall, the school of Kwame Nkrumah, it's the school of Langston Hughes, Gil Scott Heron. Like, so when I look at that, it's like our institutions are enough, right? And it's also incumbent upon us that exist now to continuously pour into our institutions and to make sure that we have standards and we're building up those institutions, whatever they may be. I remember my experience in law school was interesting because this goes to kind of like an earlier conversation where you talk about advantages in history. I got into school and I was like, yo, these people really aren't smart. Like they're just not smart. But you talk about having. I remember one time, literally, I think I was getting ready to take civil procedure, which is probably the class I hated the most. Court, I don't know how you feel about civil procedure, but I still have nightmares about it. However, I was in a bookstore getting my books, and I was struggling to pay for my books. Books in law school were high as hell,
Mm-hmm.
and I remember talking to this young girl who was there at school with me, and I was like, yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to pay for these books, and she was like, oh, that's no problem. She was like, my books are paid for, and I was like, oh, really? She was like, yeah, my grandfather's name is on that building down there, and I was like, so we in two different predicaments right here. It was schools on the campus that were named after her grandfather, but I digress. The point is, our experiences were different, but when it came to like just intelligence, understanding how to think, understanding how to process information,
Mm-hmm.
some of those folks weren't that bright. Like literally, they just weren't. But they also, like she said, she shot the Kaplan. They had Kaplan and all these other different preparatory situations that put them in position to get there. But the thing about it is, you can memorize as much as you want to. That doesn't make you intelligent. A lot of folks have gotten through life and got all kinds of degrees, and all they're good at is memorizing. They don't know how to think.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, rote memory is the centerpiece of Americanized education. Well, world
It is,
education.
which is problematic in itself. That could be its own show. But a lot of folks, got masters and PhDs, and y'all good at memorization. I shouldn't say P. A lot of my PhD folks, they know how to think, different level. But that's either here. That's my experience.
No,
Okay.
I agree with you. I mean, I think especially with it's like the critical thinking part of it. It's always about critical thinking, and I think we
Mm-hmm.
undershare that. When you look at the LSAT, like it's testing logic games, it's testing comprehension, reading comprehension. That's what it's testing on the LSAT.
Mm-hmm.
When you're going to law school, you're testing. One of the things that I noticed with law school is that they were always testing how did I teach this to you? Not necessarily what you thought of it, it's how did I teach this to you? And one of the classes that I excelled in, I think it's the only class I Cali'd, which means I got the highest grade in the class, was appellate advocacy. Because my job was to come up with based on the facts, based on the law, come up with an argument that I could sell, and I did. And I did really well at it, but that was because of the critical thinking. It wasn't necessarily
Mm-hmm.
about the rote memorization. But even with the bar, and one of the things that I have noticed is that when we're learning, we don't understand how we learn well. I've noticed that a lot of my peers that look like me, we actually are kinesthetic learners, which means we learn by doing. We're not a read write where we just read and write and go back and forth. It's actually, I learned the best by doing something, by making errors, coming back to it, all those other things. But how often, I think Jimmy, you said, I don't know which one of you talked about it, about rote memorization. Like that kinesthetic learning is not a learning style or mode that is um, made to be an important portion of learning.
Yep.
I
And
don't
you know,
think they talk
and
about learning styles enough.
yeah,
I
well,
agree
I
with
mean,
that too. That
that's
we agree
true.
on.
So, I mean, but it's not used
Oh
enough
God,
at all. I
it's
know
really
it's
going to keep
crazy.
snowing if me and Jimmy agree.
I know. Please stop, y'all. I'm crying. But no, but seriously, we don't focus enough on and one of the things that we were talking about years ago, and I think we said this, one of the things we're always looking at, if a fish is trying to learn how to climb the tree, they're just not going to be successful. But we spend so much time putting people in environments where they're just not going to thrive, and then wonder why they're not thriving, and we basically make it a failure of the person as opposed to a failure of the system.
Here we go.
All right, so here's another clip that kind of is in conjunction with this one, but I want to see what y'all think about this.
Let people think you do not belong. Because I promise, once you sit at these tables, at these fancy places, with folks with fancy titles, and they got a big bank account, and you talk to them, and you go, oh, yeah, they ain't all that. Yeah. This idea that somehow they are so special, they're so smart, they're so sophisticated, not really. They've been exposed. They've been given the confidence of feeling like they belong. But if you sit down and talk to them, turns out they just folk.
So that kind of, is like what you both were talking about. In these rooms, we had people that were quote unquote supposedly smart, uber rich, same thing the sister, but they're not really that smart at all.
But that's why I think the lesson for this for me is we have to recognize that we are enough. and some of us don't recognize that, but we have true genius. And again, this is my theme for the next couple of weeks, Kamari. Dr. King talks about it in his book. He talks about us cultivating our genius, and he's talking about this at the time. He's talking about how a lot of black folks wanted their kids to become attorneys, and he said it's a good thing. He said, however, he specifically spoke about the trade and how we have a lot of genius in trades, and a lot of our folks, because we were starting to go to college at the time, are just giving up on that. He thought that was a problem. He said, however, if your kid is talented enough to be an attorney, you have to cultivate that. But if they have genius in somewhere else, we have to cultivate that as well. But this is something that people still argue about in 2025, 2026, and beyond. But he talked about this in the 60s. And it's really about finding out what our folks are good at and supporting them at whatever that may be. It's something that Courtney said too. Focus on our skills and our greatness, whatever we're great at. I think too many people are trying to do too many things instead of focusing on one thing they're good at.
And I think most people pay attention to everything that's going on around them instead of what's going on inside of them. So that's why they apply those same standards.
I like that part.
Yeah, I mean, I think cultivation is so important. I was telling somebody the other day, and this is my parents in my world, so I want to be very clear. But I was talking to someone, and we were sharing that the person was a lefty, and they were like, "Oh my gosh, you're a lefty," and I was like, "There's not that many lefties around." And I was saying, I think I was supposed to be a lefty because I would naturally hold my pencil in my left hand.
Mhm.
However, my mom kept switching it over. So again, in terms about cultivation, is that it always makes me wonder how many times is a parent or somebody in the community, shifting the natural inclination of a child. Because it's not something that we think they should be doing or something that we value. Like, I think to your point, we undervalue the trades. But I'm gonna tell you right now, we got a plumbing issue at my house. I'm just like, yo, really wish we had a plumber. Like, we'll get a plumber here in a couple of days. But again, I'm thinking like, wow, really wish we had a plumber. And we talk about being an attorney and all these noble professions, and we don't look at these other things, people who can build things as noble professions. But I'm gonna tell you right now, if the whole world was to fall apart tomorrow, we can get to the laws at some point, but the first thing we're going to need to do is build. I can't build a
Yep.
thing.
Me either.
Literally can't build a thing.
I can't hang
have
a picture
problem.
up, so
Right, I can barely get that up. I'm like, that's not straight. I spend my whole time like, yeah, no.
Use your phone. There's a level on your phone. Just use your phone.
nah, dog, I don't think you understand my incompetence when it comes to that. That's not gonna work for me.
Okay. All right.
Now, I'm just being honest. Listen, I know what I can do, what I can't do. I'm very self-aware.
Jimmy, I have faith that you can hang a picture using the level on your phone. You're pretty straight, sir.
I appreciate you saying that.
You went to Central.
Yeah, I that's the book stuff. We ain't have no shop class at Central, dog.
Oh man, y'all ain't no shop class at Ivy League.
No,
we got a shop class at Ada Lewis. Shout out to Ada Lewis. It's no longer with us though.
Yo, man, is your high school on the chopping block too? I saw the chopping block.
I don't know. I heard you say that earlier. There's something new. I know Philadelphia is about to cancel a whole bunch of schools.
Not canceling. They're
not canceling.
Closing.
No,
closing. Canceling.
They're reorganizing, man.
Yeah, they're reorganizing.
Yeah, but there's some very popular schools that were on the list. That's why I just wondering.
So I will say this. Frank Lawrence in our FLC, the mighty FLC, we were a Blue Ribbon School the year I graduated. It was a great school. However, when I was there, we had mad asbestos problems. It was known, it was documented in the news. That school probably should have been shut down. When I was there, a long time ago. A long time ago. But it is what it is. It is what it is. Are you looking it up, Courtney?
What'd you say? I'm sorry.
I said, are you looking it up?
I didn't. I mean, I've heard of the plan. My question is not. I feel really bad about Ada Lewis, and I didn't realize we were in the same catchment, which is interesting.
Yes and no. I mean, I guess I was. So, long story short, I'm from Oaklands Avenue. The school I was supposed to go to was Leeds. I never got along with the people in my neighborhood, especially on the avenue. Mm-hmm. I switched my address to my father's address, which was in Somerville, which would be the same catchment as your school, because you're a couple blocks away. But totally different neighborhood, much nicer, a whole lot more trees on Courtney's side.
Here we go. But I think it's interesting because when I was
I
looking at
love
Ada
that side though.
Lewis, I can't deal with this. But when I was looking up Ada Lewis when we had the tragedy that happened with Kata Scott, I was
Oh
looking
God,
and
don't mention that.
but it's really not that old. I mean, out of
No,
all of the
it
schools,
just happened. It irks my soul because I would walk that way to school every day, and it's just like, my God, how did this
but
happen? But
but not even. I mean, just I'm just talking about school because I looked it up and I was like, we were talking about how long Ada Lewis had been closed, and it's been closed maybe since like '07, '08, somewhere in there.
yeah, it's been a while.
But it's been a long time. So it's been closed for, a significant amount of time, almost 20 years. But when I looked at Ada Lewis in terms of the time that it was open, it was like it was a state of the art school in like the early 70s when it was opened. So it wasn't really even open that long really kind of just made me go, wow, because we have schools all across the city that are significantly older than that and still open. So I'm just wondering, what happened with Ada Lewis and the catchment here. Now I know what the Philly, uh, I guess the Philly system did over here, which was K-8. We went to private school and then we went to a magnet after that. And I'm just wondering, did so much of that thought process happen and it basically reduced the number of students at Ada Lewis in addition to the charters to say, okay, this is no longer a viable school? I'm just wondering.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. But I do want to get your opinion on something real quick. Darryl just sent this over to me. Hold on one second, y'all.
Yeah.
And it's something about the change in hood. I haven't had a chance to view it, but I have heard some grumbling about it. I'm sure you two know more about it than I do.
I know
This
Ada
is
Lewis used to have a
breaking right
bunch of
now.
haters that were there.
Millions of homes are suddenly at risk, and both tenants
I messed
and
this up.
landlords likely won't see it coming until it's too late. New federal housing
this
rules
up.
just dropped today.
Hold on.
This is breaking right now. Millions of homes are suddenly at risk, and both tenants and landlords likely won't see it coming until it's too late. New federal housing rules just dropped today, and this impacts both landlords and tenants. And if you're renting with a voucher or you own subsidized units, this changes everything right now. HUD just ordered every public housing authority in the entire country to verify citizenship of all its tenants within 30 days or lose your funding. That's nearly 1 million households on the line right now. For landlords who accept vouchers and HUD funding, well, there's a couple pieces to this, right? So first of all, if you don't verify within 30 days that all of your tenants are citizens of the United States and have proof of that, they're going to cut the funding so that you will not receive payments for those tenants. Now, additionally, on top of that, if part of the family are citizens and part of them are not, they're going to give you the part that are citizens. They'll pay you that part, and the remainder, you won't get paid for that. If they find out that you've been housing people who are not citizens for an extended period of time or however long that is, they're also going to back charge you for payments that you received for non-citizens, that you received Section 8 payments for, or voucher payments, some kind of subsidized HUD payments for. You're going to get back charged for that as well. All this is taking place right now, and you have to prove it within 30 days. This is serious stuff. And for the tenants who are going to be impacted by that, this isn't just bureaucratic red tape. This is your home. And I know this is very serious. And this is serious in multiple ways. I realize that, one, you may lose your subsidy. You may lose your lease anyway because now you're a risk to your landlord. And at this point, this makes the landlord have to choose between helping you and preserving themselves. It's not a good situation to be in. And all of this is on top of additional proposals coming out that will slash housing vouchers for millions more people. Everybody watching this video, please share this. Even if it doesn't impact you directly, please share this. It impacts so many people, your friends, your family, co-workers.
So I am looking this up. It looks like this is real. It's kind of
This
wild.
came out days ago, but it said that when they did their study, they found out that it was 25,000 deceased people that were still receiving vouchers, and like 6,000 people that they considered to be illegal immigrants. And that's what HUD said they came up on their report, so they want to verify. So, it is something, but the way I gotta be careful how I say this. Something that was going on already. It's not like a new thing. They've been talking about this since Main Man took off, and
Right,
can't
but
be.
they
It
didn't
can't be.
talk about changing the vouchers until recently, though, right?
No, they talk. This. This is nothing compared to what they were talking about. We're
Okay,
talking
but
about
they're doing it, right?
no. So what I'm saying is this is something that we should be concerned with, but at what level, right? So if they're saying that it's 6,000, there's over 40,000 people on the wait list just in Philadelphia alone, right? So what percentage of them will be illegal? Like we have so many folks that aren't illegal that need assistance that you
Okay,
know.
so you're just to be clear, so you're saying, all right, boom, in Philly, that's just a small sample size, right? The rest of the country, while they have 25,000, 6,000 undocumented, I
hmm
believe,
hmm
that this backfill will be cleaned up quickly once it's
Oh
happened.
yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's
Okay.
the need for housing is so bad across the country, and I'm just giving you the Philadelphia numbers. There's numbers in every major city where there's vouchers that people just are waiting for housing. So, um, I understand what they're saying. They're trying to weed out the money that shouldn't be allocated in this system. And if you have 25,000 deceased people, that's a problem. Like
Mhm.
with
So
but
can we
I go ahead. I'm sorry, Court.
can we stop calling people illegal though?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's bad.
hmm That's true. That's true. So it's and also
Well,
this will be this
we
this
lose
will be
court?
this will be litigated as well, right? So this is something that will be litigated.
Well,
But
hold on,
I
Jimmy, do
just
we lose Courtney? I don't see her.
I think so. She must have got a phone call or something. But what
Okay.
I was gonna say is I just and it kind of goes to the point we were talking about earlier with the whole Chipotle thing. I just want us to be careful, like, because every day I get up and it's something that we're sounding the alarm on as if like the sky is falling. And I'm not saying that things aren't bad, that things aren't getting worse or whatever is coming down the pipe is coming down the pipe. But we have to really take a step back sometimes and be careful with how we respond to things.
And not to
Because
be emotional with our response.
yeah, we have to really do the knowledge and really understand what's being said and how it can affect us as opposed to the emotional triggers that people tend to pull on. And I get it though, when you create content you try to pull on people's emotions in order to have the reaction that you want, but you got to take a step back sometimes and really go through the numbers and figure out what's going on. And I'm not saying this isn't a problem. It's a huge problem,
Hmm.
but the way that it's being sold, and I've seen it online as well. I've not, and I'm not speaking to this sister either. Just in general, people are acting like they about to knock on your door and just yank you out, and you have nothing to do with her. Like
So can we stop calling people illegal? Sorry, I was trying to say something before I got kicked
no,
off.
we agree
So
with you.
No, we heard, yeah,
What
we heard
Kumar is
that. We
asking you
totally
is
agree. Yeah.
I think the question you asked her is like, what's the better term to use to describe?
non-citizens.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, because here's the thing, and I mean, and I hate going back in history and I think we talked about this in the pre-show, is that, at one point we were not citizens.
Correct. And they talk crazy
So
about this.
right. So I'm
Mhm.
just very careful about like calling people, and again, calling people legal and not like, yo, like citizenship is, I don't want to call it like a made up construct because it's not. It's like a real thing if you're a citizen of the United States or not. But it's like, yo, like, how dare you? I think it's real crazy that people can say where their grandparents came from and it's not a state can talk about somebody else's immigration status. I think that's wild.
No. And I think I said it, so I apologize. I didn't mean to say that, but
No. I'm not.
you are
I'm not
correct.
even coming at you
No,
about
no, no,
calling
no, no.
people
But
illegal. But I
I'm
just think
just, yeah.
I just think it's crazy. I think that is probably that burns me up more than anything. I think you both know that I've been working on but for years I've been doing genealogy for a while, and
hmm
I really enjoy it. But the thing is that I have yet to find documentation of one of my ancestors, and I think I'm about maybe 12 or 13 generations back that have
Dang.
not. Right, that are not U.S. citizens, like who were not lived in U.S. Let me be very clear. That did not live and die, like were born and died in the United States. Like I'm back pretty far. One of my ancestors was a black man who was a free black man who actually signed the charter of North Carolina, which means it's a charter from the King of England to, charter the state of North Carolina in the colonies. So again, I'm just kind of looking at people like, how dare you? Like, how dare you? How dare you take these positions
hmm
of who's supposed to be, who can be a citizen and who can't, and you really just got here.
I mean,
Like
that's what happens when
your
your gang is
people
in
have
charge.
like, I'm sorry, what?
That's what happens when your gang is in charge.
I
Listen,
guess because you just came over Ellis Island like not 100 years ago. Like you
I
have
think it's
records there. That's
I think it's
wild.
amazing you got back that many generations. That's actually pretty impressive.
Yeah, it's not on all sides. We have a couple of holes. But
Mhm.
the Richardsons in North Carolina, shout out to the Richardsons in North Carolina, we have gone back pretty far. They've been really aggressive about tracking our history. I think we're on our 70th family reunion or so, like 70, somewhere in there. Like we've
That's
been
amazing.
really aggressive about it. We do have land in North Carolina in Durham County. Shout out to Malik who got me a surveyor, because we're gonna have to survey a land. And apparently we have a creek in the middle of the land, because that makes a lot of sense. And now we're gonna have to get an environmental survey. Yay.
Wow.
Shout out to Coach
Um,
Carter. That's dope.
No,
Though.
shout to the yo. That's super dope because I'm gonna tell you, I was started doing my genealogy and I started like coming across things, and the elders in my family told me to stop because I was discovering that some folks ain't who they said they was. Some people's daddies wasn't really their daddy. I was discovering some family dirt, and they got upset at me. I was like, hey, did y'all know I got cussed out by some of the elders in my family. So, um,
so
there's
So
that.
listen,
so
I can't do a genealogy, but I've been working on my family tree. Like I'm not as fancy as those two other people, but I've been working on my family tree, and it's crazy because both sides of my family go back to South Carolina, which is really interesting. And there's a story on my father's side that he was a slave or an enslaved person directly from Africa that was on a plantation, but he found his way to freedom and came to Philadelphia. So
Yeah,
very
I travel.
interesting.
I track my family all the way back to Burkina Faso, is where we originate in West Africa. So, but yeah, when I started getting
Now,
over
when you say
here,
track, you were able to find documents, or was that through your African ancestry?
African ancestry is what took me back
Okay.
there. Now I went through. So the funny thing is, I've been playing around with a lot of it. I took the regular ancestry, African ancestry. I used the genealogy tool on ancestry.com. I did a lot of this and just playing around with it and finding different things. But I really did get cussed out by some of the others in my family because I was like, "Oh, Aunt such and such was only 13 and she married a 45-year," and they was like, "Whoa, whoa, 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 what you doing?" I'm like, "This, I got the marriage certificate. Like, what you doing?" But so. And you know how it is in black families, like they don't want you to be talking
Keep
about people's
secrets.
dirty laundry, dog.
Let
Oh
sleeping
man,
dogs lie. Let sleeping
listen,
dogs
man,
lie.
listen. So it's not just my family. You know what I'm talking about.
No, yeah.
it's
Listen, I think I told you that I found out that I knew my great grandmother when she was alive, but I knew her as my great aunt. But apparently, she was my grandmother's mother, and I did not discover that until I started going through all my dad's documents. So,
Man, listen, you ever heard of Jack Nicholson's story?
no.
no.
So the famous actor.
Should we look at his story because do we want to compare ourselves to other people?
I see what you did there, but no, it's just in reference to what you said.
So,
So the lady he grew up thinking was his sister was actually his mother,
whoa,
and
and that
That
actually
happens a
happens a
lot.
lot. Yeah,
That
that
and
happens
happens
a
a
lot.
lot.
he kind of found out later in life and it like messed him up. But she was very young, and obviously her parents raised him. But it was really so he thought it was his sister his whole life, and it turns out it was his mom.
So yeah, there's a lot of those stories, and it's really interesting about those types of stories. I mean, we had a story that we've carried. I still haven't gotten real clarification on what exactly happened, but we've been carrying one story probably since I'm what 44, probably for a good 44 years of my life, plus the years of my mother's lives, that actually is not true. And we've seen that through DNA. Like I can't get into the details because I don't actually have the full story of like what
Mm-hmm.
actually was the issue, but we've been carrying a story for a really long time. And I was like, so this isn't the story, huh?
Yeah,
Okay.
but it's interesting to me though because for me, what I realized, and even having this conversation here, that it's not exclusive to us, but like the
Hmm.
others, my family, like they're so embarrassed by certain things. It's like this is a reality. Like this is the world we live in. Like, what are you so anyway?
But I think it does impact us more because we're already disconnected and disjointed. And so it
Hmm.
just makes it that much even more fragile and even more hurtful.
But it
But
also makes it more difficult to really like kind of like
correct.
put all the pieces together
Yeah.
because people aren't willing to share information based upon like the feeling of embarrassment.
Hmm. Yeah, there's a lot of shame. And my dad says it all the time. So we talk about this because my dad's genealogy came back and I was like, well, daddy, this is a whole situation. He was just like, I wasn't there. I ain't have
Hmm.
nothing to do with it. And I'm
Yeah,
just like, that's fair.
no, it is. It's actually it's true. It is fair.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. But I want to
I
check in with the
mean,
people. But before we begin
mhm.
to check in with the people, I want to know for y'all, what do y'all think about those two clips? Not the one about HUD, but the two with Obama and the other lady who went to Harvard. Do you agree with the lady? Do you think everybody does believe the white man's ice or the white woman's ice is actually colder speaking about black people of color, a lot of times. Do y'all think that's real or it's made up?
So I told you and Courtney, unless you want to say something first.
Mhm.
She
So
doesn't, Jimmy. Oh, she does.
no. So I'm laughing. So, but I mean, I think it's about we know all about the press. And I mean, we know all about the oppressor, and the oppressor knows nothing about the oppressed. So we actually look to emulate or get closer to the oppressor to be less oppressed. And I mean, and that's just what it is. So I think that's what a lot of people take that position across the board. So I'm, maybe their educational system is better. What they have to reside, which may not even be the case, but oh, I believe that. So because they are the ruling class. So I just think we just kind of go after whatever the ruling class provides, whether it's right or wrong. We don't kind of, think of it anything deeper than, oh, this is what the ruling class is doing. It must be right.
What do you got,
So
Jimmy?
for me, I just want us to recognize that we are enough, right?
Mhm.
That's my biggest takeaway from this is to recognize that we are enough. We all have genius in different ways, and that genius has to be cultivated. And we really need to focus on, kind of just bigging each other up and building with each other. So not putting so much stock in these institutions. We have our own institutions, and it's up to us. It's incumbent upon us to invest in them, whether that's with your time, your energy, your resources, whatever it may be. Because if you just look at it from a historical standpoint, our institutions have produced some of our best, and will continue to do so. But
Mhm.
the value that you give an institution is pretty much based upon the people that support or attend that institution, right? Um, all of these institutions started in a small room and became what they became, right? So we should be able to look at. I mean, in some regards, we do that, right? If I tell someone that such and such is a Morehouse man, we put a value on that, right?
Mhm.
So in some regards,
It
we do
depends
that.
on who you're talking to.
But so what I'm saying is, in some regards,
I
we
know I'm
already
playing.
do that. But I just feel like we should do more of that. We should do more of that. One of the things I want to do is I want to offer like time and resources to a Lincoln, Cheney. Like we always bring them up because they're the ones closest to it, right? Um, so we should be building those things up, making those the institutions that we look at with the same lens as we do the other things. So, like I told you yesterday, Kamari, man, there's some evil people with great PR, and there's some great people with no PR.
Tracks. All right, let's check in. Liz is here. I know we spoke, but just want to officially say, hey,
Hey, Liz.
Hey, Liz.
Anthony's here. Okay, how are you? How are you? Got that Virgo Life. I'm not sure who that is, but Philly NBA 2026, maybe, maybe. What do you think, Jim? You going with it?
There's a lot of parody right now, but let's see.
All right, Liz says Tracy's impact will forever lasting. Will be
That's a
forever
fact.
lasting. That's a fact.
Big facts.
That is a fact. It's a fact. Give the baby some booty. So it's a dog. It is not a baby.
It's a fur baby.
Whatever. It's a dog.
Why are you so mad?
Man, you sound mad aggressive, man. Like, what's wrong?
Who's mad aggressive? What are you talking about?
The way you talk about your dog isn't cool, man. It's like you got problems with him. Like you don't like your dog?
Some days I don't. I think it might be one of my biggest mistakes.
Wow.
It came out of trauma. So my poppy passed, and we wanted a dog. And listen, dogs are a lot, man. They're like babies.
No.
10.
Well, no, I get that. I totally understand that, but it's hard for me to hear that. I'm a dog lover, so when you talk like that, it's just difficult.
You want a dog? You want a dog?
No, see,
bring
because
him over today.
I gotta feel. I see. Now the problem is that you raised your dog at this point, so your dog is probably a hater.
Listen, I will say this: my dog is like super excited to see everybody. My dog will love you. All right, dogs in the bed. No, I don't believe in that. You've been jumping on my couch a lot lately too. I have a problem with that.
Yeah, you didn't need a dog.
Corey is on daddy duty.
Yeah, he's definitely got daddy duty. He has his youngest with him right now, and he's like, I talked to Corey this morning. And he was like, "Yeah, I can't come on." He said, "I said, where's the youngster?" He said, "Crawling on my face." So yeah, he's spending time with the baby.
So I say bring him on too, but I get it. I know that. I know that responsibility and burden. They weren't domesticated. That's right. That's right. So he needs to get undomesticated. Hey, Joyful, how are you? Don Johnson says, don't let a white liberal woman see that. don't even know what I did.
Oh, talking about you, how you treating your dog.
Oh, yeah, he's right. What do you mean? I took him
Thank
for
you,
a walk.
Joyful.
Listen,
Joyful.
if you do not take a dog for a walk, though, no matter the condition, it's a problem. All kind of ways. Dogs do have feelings. Okay. All right. Y'all know what we sound like right now. I ain't gonna say it, but y'all know what we sound like.
What?
Actually, all right, Anthony says
Good humans?
actually a study came out that dog brains are mysteriously evolving and becoming smarter. Yeah, I think he is smart though. He is smart. He just play like he don't. He be acting like he ignore me and everything. He's real disrespectful. Real disrespectful. Yeah, that level of detail is important. He was on the PE side, but Americans' reading level is so low that outlets don't bother going into detail.
Talking about Kobe.
Yeah.
What up, Nicole?
No, yeah, he talking about
Look at Jamel,
Chipotle.
what up?
Talking about Chipotle and how Ackerman was on the private equity side, not necessarily the CEO.
Oh,
And
right.
how most of us, we don't even have the ability to discern what he really was to Chipotle. We just run with the emotional narrative that, hey, the CEO donated to this.
Wait. Go back to the. Hold on.
Where do you want me to go back to, Courtney?
Ant's comment about us not our reading level.
That he was on the PE side. Oh, private equity side.
Private
But
Private
I
equity.
for me, okay. I thought he was talking
Yeah.
about Kobe. Okay.
Yeah, private equity side. Yeah.
Most people don't even know what private equity is, so
Yeah,
that's
I
an
was-
issue
yeah.
in and of itself.
Most people don't even know what CEO is.
What up, Jigga?
True.
They think that the CEO is the founder of the company and sometimes it could be, but a lot of people
Could
think
be.
that automatically.
A lot of times not.
Yeah.
The CEO is just an employee, but nobody wants to be an employee. Everybody wants to be the boss.
Listen, I
Wanna be
told you one
boss.
time I had a guy tell me that. He told me that he wants to be an entrepreneur. He don't believe in jobs. He wants to be like Jamie Dimon. And I was like, well,
Wait a minute. Is that what he said specifically?
yeah, specifically, yeah. And I was like, well, go look at his bio because he's been
One
an
of the
employee.
biggest company mans ever.
He's been an employee his whole career. Like he ain't found nothing. You know, it went from
Nothing.
anyway.
Nothing.
But some people don't understand what it means to be a CEO. They think that because you're the CEO. Anyway.
Jimmy, read that, please.
All right, so Liz says, but they need to put more resources and energy as a corporate entity to stand against ICE and those who support them. It's not enough, in my opinion. Speaking about Chipotle.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, I agree with that. Mo's over to Chipotle. Welcome to Mo's. That's my spot.
Now, what I will tell you is, Jamil, I'm willing to listen to you a little bit more than the Dover Chipotle argument. Mo's is
the shit.
But my favorite spot, matter of fact, I'm not saying their name because they ain't paying me. It's on Delaware Ave. They're not like a big chain though, but they get
On
big.
Delaware Ave. You gotta put me down with that.
Yeah. I refuse to say Columbus Boulevard.
I feel like that's some slander.
To keep it real, Rory, that's how Reconstruction goes. Doge want to identify bottlenecks. Yes, it will cause money to lose in the short term. However, a lot of the fat will be removed.
All right, so cool. I hear your argument, but let's use the IRS as a perfect example, right? So we want to talk about bottlenecks. So the IRS Doge fired a whole bunch of people. Then they brought them back. Indiscriminately. Thank you, Courtney. And then they brought them back. So they didn't even do their due diligence on these things. So I don't know if it was truly a bottleneck. I think they actually created more of a bottleneck because there's still problems with the IRS. And those issues happen because they fired all these people. And people don't realize institutional knowledge is an asset. Sometimes it can be a liability, but it can be a big asset. You need those people.
Mm-hmm.
150-year-olds still getting checks. Yeah, but I also will say this. Shout out to Biden, right? Because Biden got money for the IRS in the tunes of billions of dollars. Republicans did not like that. But the IRS still has computer systems from the 60s.
Oh, yeah.
And they still have not upgraded them yet. What did the Republicans
remember they were going in a tizzy about what he just said, and they realized it wasn't that it was 135-year-old. It was the fact that old programming language they used. They calculated people as being who were born in like 2000 as being born in 1900 or something like that because it just said 00.
Right.
So, yeah, because it couldn't. It doesn't have the ability to calculate all of the full number. But I want to talk about that to a bigger point. Is that a lot of our systems are antiquated in that way, and it's not just the IRS. But again, to your point about institutional knowledge, is that you don't actually have people. So there was an entity I used to work for. No names. is that they had to bring people in from other countries to program because the programming language was so old that nobody knew it anymore.
Shout to Kobo.
I was about to say, sounds like Kobo.
Yeah. So again, those are the things that we have to talk about. So institutional knowledge is a thing. And I think we undervalue it so much. Is we have to do something new. We have to do something. It's like, did you even ask the people what they were doing? And every time I try to change the process, I ask the people who are the owners of the process, like, hey, what do you think we should do here? Like, what do you think should be done better? I don't go from my top level to say, oh, these are things I think that should be changed. I mean, I have them in my mind, but I have to talk to people who actually own the process to see if
Right.
what my ideas are correct and what their
But you know
ideas
what?
are.
And me and you have talked about this in specific situations before, but you'd be surprised at how many people don't do that. They don't put the people in the room that are on the front lines doing the things that they're actually legislating or making rules behind. And this happens at every level of enterprise, whether we're talking about government, private entity. This happens all the time.
Yep.
Yeah, because a lot of times the Eagles won't allow for it, which is sad and crazy and usually a money waste. But going back to the IRS, right?
Mhm.
All of those things that Doge did actually hurt the American people. And what Biden was doing in terms of the IRS, can't speak to anything else, was actually a benefit to the American people. So I feel like when you just try to go to the thing and reduce just based on money, a lot of times you go wrong. A lot of times
But I
you
don't
go
even think
wrong.
they were reducing based on money. I don't think there was any real criteria, to be very honest.
I would agree, but that was their quote unquote PR pitch. So I'm just saying. Hey, Nakia, how you doing? I keep
Hey.
looking for Ashton Kutcher because we gotta be getting pumped. Yeah, I agree. I
Agreed.
agree. Yeah.
Hi, Nakia.
All right. Liz says, can we stop giving Trump all the credits? He's not pulling the strings. He's a puppet. That is a fact because he can't stay focused enough in business. What makes you think he can enact domestic terrorism and global wars? Because he's that dumb. But yeah, he is a puppet. I would agree with that. Hey, Robin.
Robin.
Robin, how are you?
All right. Nicole says, I travel to different utilities and help them with streamlining their services. The first thing I tell them is we need to talk to the people that actually do the work. Shout outs to you, right? They always ask why. I tell them before you cut costs, we need to understand the effects they will have on other departments or people. Well, Nicole is also a girl side girl, Courtney. So, y'all love each other. She's part of that
243.
gang. She's part of that gang.
Nicole, what's your
Anytime
number?
somebody
What's your number,
announces
Nicole?
their number, anytime a person announces their number, they're not regular people, right? Jimmy, what's your number?
254.
What? 254. What year did y'all graduate from high school? Like, it's like, why do y'all do all that to go out of the way and say how old you are? That's
Well,
all
it's
it is.
to keep us from the common folk. So when we talk, we have our own language.
See
You know
that? The common folk, right? Prove my point. Prove my point. All right, Liv says you need the poor as neo-slave labor. Okay.
Well, she's not wrong.
All right. Don Johnson says retired vet here, and I see the VA system going to be overhauled in the near future. I invest my VA compensation because I cannot trust I will maintain it for the long haul. I mean, I feel you
That's
on
fair.
that, Don.
That's fair.
Hey, look, it's better to be prepared, right?
My dad would complain about the VA system all the time. And my uncle, matter of fact, they both were vets. Both my uncles right now, thinking about it. I think I skipped somebody. Hold on. Rhonda Anderson's in the building. Rhonda, we were talking about you yesterday. Dave Foster gave you glowing reviews.
Yeah, it was all good things, Ronnie. We're talking about how great you are.
Hey,
All right.
Rhonda.
Hey. All right. It's good somebody make the stand. All right.
Did you
Storm,
skipped
how
over?
are you?
You skipped over what Nicole said about Courtney helping her.
No, I was getting to that. It's right here.
See, he
It's
didn't
the
want you to
next
get
one.
he didn't want you to get your flowers.
It's
That's
the
all.
next
did.
one. Stop
He
it.
did. He did.
Stop
He
it.
did.
So listen, I have a problem with pronouncing names, so I didn't know Diana, if I was supposed to say Diane or Diana. So I didn't want to mispronounce her name, but I'm just being out there. But welcome.
How would
All
you
right.
get Diana from that?
Because that's
I
what
really
happens.
don't understand. I just
That's
find
what
myself-
happens.
Okay, all right, hold on,
I
I'm
didn't go to one of the gang related schools, Central Girls High. So I'm not smart enough to say names right, y'all. I'm sorry. I have a learning disability. All right. So Nicole says, Courtney, I appreciate your advice the last time. I opened those accounts for my grandkids that are disabled. Whoa.
Able accounts.
All right.
So while you're looking through all those, let's talk about the able accounts. You know, we love them.
Okay, go ahead.
So I think one of my favorite parts about talking about able accounts is that people are always looking. They're like, I want to leave all this money to my grandchildren or my children or whatever. But they're one of the things that they'll say is that, well, they're not able to manage the account themselves because they're disabled. So able accounts, when did they start? They started like maybe 2016. Does that sound right? About right?
2014. Able Account
2014.
Act of 2014.
Okay. Did they start in 16 though?
Maybe it's
Okay.
possible. Yeah.
So it's achieving a better life experience. So it's authorized by Section 529 of the code, but it allows individuals with disabilities, and their disability had to begin before age 46, which I thought was really interesting. Um, and they can save up to $20,000 annually without losing eligibility for Medicaid, SSI, and other federal benefits. So it's basically a way to have money for children that are disabled or people who are disabled, without affecting the federal benefits that they're entitled to. Because a lot of times, if you have money in a disabled individual's name, it counts against them in terms of their benefits that they can receive from the federal government. So that is the answer.
All right. So Anthony says capitalism for the dumb, man. Developing systems to acquire money. That's what capitalism is. The portion you are describing is human nature. So I'm guessing that was directed towards Jimmy, not me.
Yeah, it is. You know,
Okay.
I knew Ant was
Nah,
going
just
to say
wanna make
that. Once, anytime I say anything that can be critical of capitalism, I know Ant's going to say something, and I know you're going to say something. Y'all the capitalism gang.
I just feel like it's a waste of time, man. You know I love you, Jimmy, but and it's not. Technically,
No,
it's not you. No.
but
I
that's
want to
why-
be clear. It's not you, right? Because I get hit with this barrage all the time, and it's just
No,
like,
as do I. I get accused of being an uber capitalist, which is funny because I'm always the one criticizing capitalism. However, I think it's okay to criticize it, but I also understand your perspective of this is what we have, so let's work within it. I get that, but to me, that doesn't mean that I can't be critical of it. That's all I'm saying.
all right. The kid says facts. Yes, all of them are gangs. Yes, they are. All of them, and they be set tripping. All right, Mario Robux is back. Oh boy, here we go with the slander.
I'm cracking up.
Here we go with the slander. Economic warfare equals capitalism. Is no running from it.
Okay.
Yeah, I think there's economic warfare in every ism now. That's the only thing I have to say about that. All right, Liz says we have communities that have done things differently and done well.
That's all I'm saying, Liz.
Reviewing?
That's
Okay.
all I'm saying.
All right. Read that, Jimmy, please.
All right, so Ann says it's a new day, and the age-old methods are mute and null. We are in a technological age. No more red tape. Educate, acquire skills, get money, and build together.
So I actually disagree with that. I respectfully push back. I know what you mean, but I hear people say that, right? Malcolm X was right. Television was right. King was right. Booker T was right. And a lot of those same things.
Who's the second person you said? You said Malcolm X, and who you said to that?
Booker T, Sullivan.
Oh, Sullivan.
Sullivan.
It sounded like the way you said those, you were talking so fast. It sounded like you said Stove God Cooks. And I was about to say, what he got to do with Malcolm?
I did not. Listen, I just got familiar with Stove God Cooks. I know Jimmy loves him. I'm just now getting up on his stuff.
No,
my guy.
It just confused me. I was like,
wait a minute,
Malcolm.
Courtney, that's your guy?
Oh yeah, she likes
my
Stove
guy.
God. Yeah.
Oh, check that out. Okay.
No, hold up though. When you said it though, I was like, hold up, what does Stove God got to do with Malcolm? I'm like, anyway, I'm sorry. Heard you wrong, beloved.
Okay. But I'm just saying, like, a lot of those things we left behind, because that's another thing we should talk about too. We have not supported the institutions that have supported us, and we've kind of abandoned a lot of them.
It's kind of what I just said. We have to support
No,
our
you
own
did.
institutions.
No, but you left out the abandoned part. And because a lot of good work was done in the 50s and 60s, and we kind of abandoned it. Now, I will say this. A lot of times our old heads don't want to get out of the way. They don't want to bring people to the table that should be at the table, and that's the thing. But we don't win when we just take our ball and go home either. So, it's something you got to think about. It says, I'm a fan of war as well. I am not a fan of war. I am not. Oh, that's good. Success leaves clues. It wasn't mine. I just borrowed it from somebody. I don't even know who said that originally. Read that to me, please.
We have to eat the meat and spit out the bone. Oh. he can take some things from others and put our own spin on it. European Jews are less than 3% in the U.S. and they account for over 40% of the billion.
You're not gonna read the rest? Oh, you did. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
All right, listen, the guy
Oh,
4513, thank you. And I agree. Eat the meat, eat the chicken, and spit out the bones. Is what I'm saying. And I'm not saying Paul Smith, Jimmy,
No one said anything.
but I noticed what you thought.
You criticizing my thoughts now.
Yes, I am. Hey, Mary, how you doing? All right, success lose, and as a community, we need to break up with the idea of assimilation. I agree with that. And use the blueprints available within our culture. And
Listen. Shout out to Mary. Mary is
Mary's dope.
no, she's super dope, and I want to make sure I shout her out though, because I told her I'll be hitting her because she's a psychologist as well. So I want to make sure I shout her out.
Okay. That one, Jim.
I truly believe that thriving in these United States of America is the highest honor to our ancestors. This is our land that our people died for. We have to embrace this. We are Black Americans first. That sounds like I don't know if that was.
I don't agree with that, but
I know. I just.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know if he was going full like FBA or ADOS right there. I didn't know which one he was going with.
I feel like he's straddling the line between one.
I just didn't know. I didn't know where you were going with that, Ant. All right, so we got to start somewhere. Even the smart light can burn a bridge. Ooh, we are building like Sullivan. Talk to him.
She did clarify the smart light. I forgot what she said though.
I like that. Got to
smart lighter.
Smart lighter.
Smart lighter. Okay, got you.
Yeah.
So go back. So I'm actually I'm on the age train for now because I
who
feel
train?
Anthony. It's my aunt.
Oh.
Yeah, that's Ant. Yeah, it's my aunt because he's talking about this land is filled with our blood.
Yeah, I mean, I think thriving here is the highest honor because again, we are the people who established this place as an economic hub. It was cotton, it was in some cases sugar that did it. Like we did that.
Tobacco.
Yeah.
So again, but it was done for free. Our labor is the biggest expense that you will ever have in your business, and we did it for free. So I do think, in spite of all those things, if we can be successful and thrive, I think it is a high honor. I mean, again, we are our ancestors' wildest dreams. I appreciate that. But we ain't died for this land though. We died on this land, but we didn't die for this land. So I do want to be clear about that. So
yeah, I think it was the great philosopher who said your best revenge is your paper. That was like Beyonce Knowles Carter said that. So don't put that.
Okay. The soil's filled with our blood. Absolutely.
Facts. Absolutely. That was a clarification.
When you're Reverend Leon Sullivan, you talk about things take time. The investment club is absolutely working in his framework. And that's all I was saying.
Yeah.
But you already know that. I know that.
But the people don't know that.
Yeah.
Okay. That's fair, Courtney. That's fair.
And this is what I mean. And see, when Courtney says that you take it, but when I say the same thing, you like to push back.
You didn't say the same thing.
No, hear me out. What I was saying is
Courtney doesn't bully me the same way that you do.
Oh, here you go. I know you're not talking because you are a cyberbully. But with that being said, the reason I was saying that is because sometimes we do have our own community and our folks, and we love you guys who are rocking with us watching this, but you'd be surprised at sometimes the content we create, where it goes. So you have to make sure, you're not just talking for our specific folks. And it's funny that you don't get that because sometimes you criticize me.
No, I do. And I was going to say I accept that. I accept that.
Because sometimes you criticize me for saying things too Philly. You're like, well, everybody's not from Philly. So, and I understand.
Don't criticize you. I just like to clarify because everybody's not from here. And I just wanted to have a context.
I got you. So that's what I'm saying. We have to be careful because I've heard, like, I've met people and they're like, oh, I saw you on such and such. And I'm like, well, I didn't know you were watching. Like, you never know where things tend to go. So that's all I was saying. But thank you, Don.
That is a fact. That's a straight up fact.
We waiting on you, Kamari, man. We gotta get to these rest of these times.
No, you was talking. I wanted to.
No, you were leading. You leading. So unity only works with like-minded people. Every community pushes their bottom class to the side and focuses on the builders. It's funny. I was having a conversation with Corey.
That's true too.
And Corey was kind of saying the same thing. He said he was telling me how he was like, I think that we try to have too many people kind of in the circle building instead of just like getting a smaller group that's willing to build.
But Jimmy, what was the conversation you and I had yesterday?
Well, that's what I told him. I told him, I said, me and Kamari were just having the same conversation.
Right. Same conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. So
Listen,
where was
Jesus
I?
only had 12.
Where was
You don't
I?
need more than 12. Go ahead,
Where
Courtney.
where was I for all these
Well, we already
conversations?
counted you in. You're a part of it anyway. So whether you know it or not, you're already being accounted for.
You are.
Fair. Okay.
I know you wanted to say something smart.
She doesn't have to. Just the face. She didn't have. She made the face. She don't have to say anything.
Mhm.
I didn't say a word.
All right, read that one for me, Kamari.
All right, Don Johnson. You're afraid to say the word.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Poor Jews don't have access. Poor whites don't have access. Poor Indians don't have access. I would agree.
Hey, you know what's not funny, but what's interesting if you when you go and like read
Native
and study,
Americans, by the way, that's what he's talking about.
when you go and study the chairman of Fred Hampton,
Mhm.
when they really got on his top is when he
he's trying to
started
unify
when he
everybody.
started bringing poor whites and poor Native Americans and poor Jews, when he started bringing them in part of the fold, next thing you know, they running his crib. Next thing you know,
But hold on, you've been reading King, right? The
Yes.
Poor People's Campaign was what? It wasn't just about black folk.
oh no, it wasn't. He said we coming
Yeah.
for some checks, and next
Yeah.
thing you know,
but that is what got him assassinated.
but
That's
the
what
same,
got him
but listen, if you look at Fred Hampton, when he started having that conversation, he started organizing them. When he had like the poor, he said he had the poor red folks, the poor yellow folks, and he brought them all together in the space. Next thing you know, they ran in his spot.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So Don says Baba mentality is about individual greatness. Listen, I believe so. That's true what Don says. But I believe in order to have strong groups, you got to have strong individuals, right? Because my mentor taught me this because he was a Pan African. He said you got to have strong individuals that have a strong group. They both feed one another. You can't have one with the other. That adage of you're only as strong as your weakest link is a real thing.
No, I agree, but I think that rugged individualism is something that runs rampant, and a lot of that is based on history too.
Yeah, but
in terms
again,
of us,
you just talked about nuance, right? So I'm not talking about rugged individual. Like I need you, Jimmy. I need you, Courtney. I need everybody in the chat, right? We all need each other. But in order to be the best for them, if I need them, I got to be the best for me so I can be the best for them. That's all I'm talking about.
Yeah, but I think we get away from that a lot. I think we look to be in a group to be associated with greatness as opposed to bringing the greatness that we have to the group.
That's a bar. Say that again. Can we get that one more?
That's all we got. That's all we got.
She said it was organic. It just came right out.
That was facts. All right, Liz says context matters. Bird didn't have the same context history-wise or race-wise. Yeah,
Thank
but
you, Liz.
Bird was an anomaly, right? He wasn't supposed to be as good as some of the others that he played with.
Thank you.
Listen, I don't hate Bird. I don't like Bird. I'm a Doc guy. So if you don't know about Bird and Doc, go back and read the play. Watch the play, y'all.
I have no idea.
So you don't remember when Moses Malone and Dr. J whooped Bird something crazy?
Right, so
back in the
Anthony
80s.
Ant says, I think some of our biggest issues as a group are that look at our own greatness in other groups. I guess we look at greatness in other groups, borrowed from efficiently while repping their group first.
I agree with that. I mean, you go to Egypt. I mean, matter of fact, look at all the inventions in America that were ripped from black inventors. Didn't get a dime.
Every single one of them, except the patent office. That's the only thing we didn't invent.
Discipline is key. Yes, it is.
Absolutely.
Yes, it is.
Discipline and consistency. Those two things together can kind of like defeat anything.
Shout out, I have such a great story about this with someone I met in South Africa. But another time, beautiful gowns, well-funded gowns. I don't know
Beautiful
what that's referring
So
to.
that's a reference to Taylor Swift and Aretha Franklin, because they were asking Aretha Franklin at some point, like, "Hey, what do you think about Taylor Swift?" And she was like, beautiful gowns. And they're looking at her like we really were talking about her singing. And she was like, beautiful gowns.
Oh, so that's all she got good to say about it.
That's fire. I'm actually stealing that. I just want y'all to know that. So shout out to Aretha.
The amount of excellence from HBCUs alone should show you the truth.
That's what I'm saying.
It's without a fact that HBCUs are producing the greatest talent ever known to man.
Continued excellence. Because if you look at the number of Black attorneys, Black doctors, all professionals, they're coming from HBCUs at a crazy rate.
They are.
Even to this, that's what I'm saying. But even in the history, like I was telling, Thurgood Marshall, Langston Hughes, Jimmy Williams, Kwame Nkrumah, like all of these folks, I never mind.
All right, so you mentioned your name. So this is what I'm going to say though. When you look at the endowments of all HBCUs, they do not equal to half of what a UPenn, a Temple University had.
I
And
donate personally.
a lot of good with dollars or just time. Which
No,
one?
dollars.
Both. My
And
man.
time. I'm working now to get, by the way, you're getting dragged into this, but, we're working now to set up something at Lincoln and Cheney with 100 Black men and us. So
I don't know
listen.
how I get dragged into it, but listen, I'll donate my money and my time. Just don't
Listen.
drag me.
So a lot of
walk.
us Lincoln folks, we have a thing that we do where every month we give $18.54.
Okay.
Is the reason we do it is
You said every
on,
month?
Yes, every month.
Is that the year of founding?
Yes. So that's what we do.
I'm stoked.
So Jimmy, speaking of when year you were founded, so you guys make any reference to Ashman Institute at all? Do you guys ever talk about that?
I do own some Ashman Institute gear. This is like a kind of an Easter egg, but we really don't, to be honest with you.
And what's Ashman Institute?
The name prior to Lincoln.
Mm.
That was actually how it was founded, as Lincoln.
Gotcha. It says Harvard and other Ivy League institutions are in the business of educating the mediocre white people. The network is the essential win for them. Listen, the network is the essential win for everybody.
Right.
I think networks are everything, especially as we talked about Black folks. Like, I think Penn State has one of the biggest alumni
They do.
in the world, right?
They do.
And I got slandered the other day, and Jimmy didn't have my back on this, but I got slandered when we were at an event by Jeff the Builder, who won the Penn State. He's from Philly, and he's mad that I'm a TU grad. So he slandered me.
Oh, I'll let y'all. I didn't. What I mean?
You supposed to have my back. You supposed to
I
have my
was
back.
letting y'all go through y'all school thing. It was
See,
Temple versus Penn State, and I was letting y'all do y'all thing.
See, you supposed to have my back, bro.
I paid
You
Temple
let
some
me
money
down,
too.
Jimmy.
I paid Temple some money, but and I need to start claiming Temple too, because I paid Temple some money. I think if I paid you money, I can get a little claim.
So I definitely claim Temple. Temple's my last degree, so I
So why
definitely.
you ain't got Temple sweatshirt on, man?
Well, this is my last certification, so there.
Oh,
But definitely I love Temple. Temple, actually, did I tell y'all they discontinued my degree, y'all?
Really?
Yeah, they discontinued the LLM in taxation.
Wow.
But it don't matter. You still got it. You still got it.
Oh, I still have it. I mean,
Right. That's all.
whatever. But I'm sad about it because it was a really good degree. It was actually, out of all of the degrees that I have, the most effective, the most marketable, the most practical degree that I have.
All right. So the kid says, "Ooh, another gem. If a fish is trying to find a tree, it won't be successful.
Man,
It's a fish is trying to climb a tree, it won't be successful."
Yeah.
But we do that all the time, and we've consistently done it. I feel like, especially I think one of the things that we have done in the education system that I think is the most problematic is that we try to get these children to sit in a room for more or less like 7.5 hours a day and expecting them to learn something. Get them out doing stuff. I mean, the exploratory learning, all of those other things is so important. And I don't think we do that at all. And I think you're stripping the opportunities from some of these children for them, because again, it's like, well, Jimmy can't, sorry, Jimmy, but Jimmy can't sit still. Okay. So what? But because Jimmy's not acquiescing to the environment that he's placed in, but maybe that's just not the good environment for Jimmy.
This is true.
But there's no place for us to actually have that conversation. We give, whatever child an IEP and trying to just, make them feel less than, when actually their gifts and talents are just different.
Yep.
Super duper facts.
So Mary says, as necessary as critical thinking is, we don't address how it's been removed from the curriculum that are set in motion to teach and guide towards the success we seek.
Listen,
I mean, it's hard to have critical thinking when people can't even read, but yeah, you're right, Mary.
Listen, man. It's hard to read when you're hungry, but no.
Well, it's all of those things. First of all, my problem is we have gotten rid of, we teach to the stupid behind test. We just teach to the test. I'm like, because the whole focus is the test. It's not about learning. It's not about education. It's about teaching to these doggone tests. And I'm not really sure that the tests are that good anyway, but whatever.
Listen,
but that being said,
Joe Clark was fighting against the test.
Huh?
I said Joe Clark was fighting against those tests.
He was. Joe Clark wasn't wrong. But it really gets under my skin about these the fact that we don't teach critical thinking, the fact that we don't even teach civics anymore. We literally don't teach in high school how the government works. They used to in high school in the senior year, you used to get a civics class to teach about how government works, because why? These people are expected to go out and vote. But now we don't teach about civics, and we wonder why our voting numbers are so bad, but maybe that's by design.
Well, everybody says voting doesn't matter.
It's an Asian guy. He's on YouTube. He's a professor in Canada. And I was watching one of his lectures because sometimes when I work, I listen to lectures of professors. It's a weird habit. But he was talking about a study done there and the success of anyone moving to a different tier in life in terms of where their parents are. And he said that a lot of it is based on the education and what happens in the house in terms of the way their parents talk to them, whether their parents are educating them. He said it kind of doesn't matter how much money you invest into the schooling if you're not reinforcing those things at home. And and he was saying there's studies that show that a lot of parents now like just rely on whatever school they go to, specifically if they're paying, and they're not even getting the bang for their buck because it's not reinforced at home. And he said it's not just sitting down and having conversations. He was like, even the vocabulary you use around your kid in the house makes a difference. He was like, a lot of people try to, even with babies, talk to them and gaga, goo goo, and all that kind of stuff instead of speaking to them in a way with the vocabulary that you tend to use. And all those things kind of have an effect on whether you're going to get out of whatever financial situation your parents were in. He said 90-something% of people never move into a different class of their parents. And there's small little changes you can make that will make that change.
So I was going to talk about that, and I think we've talked about that in previous conversations of the Black Wealth Project, is that, again, we are the same people that don't trust the government, but we trust them with our best asset, which is our children. And we don't spend time educating our children at home. Like, we literally don't, like, I will never forget, and these are things that my parents, I was always a very, very, very big reader when I was growing up. And one of the things that, and I think we talked about this previously, is that, like, what was the time that you realized that what you were being taught in school, like, something wasn't right with it? And I think I was 11 years old. It was the 500-year anniversary of Christopher Columbus discovering America. And I was so confused. And I came home and I went to a Catholic school. Shout out to, the Archdiocese of Philadelphia. And I came home and I said to my parents, I said, well, and I was just like, honestly, just asking a question. And I said, well, how do you discover something that was already discovered? Like, it wasn't new to the people who were living here. And my dad was like, okay, he was like, oh, got him. So he starts feeding me all of these books. I mean, one of the books, and I didn't read this until later, but it was very integral in my understanding about how we learn education, how we are taught facts in the American system, is that Dr. Ivan Van Sertima wrote the book They Came Before Columbus. And if you read that book, you learn that Africans were seafarers and they were all over the world well before Europeans came to America. And one of the places that they came to was South America.
Yeah, I got that book over here somewhere. But
and he actually passed away. He taught at Rutgers. I didn't realize that until way later. And then by the time I realized he taught at Rutgers, he passed away. But I say that to say is that, again, there's so many things that just don't compute. And I think it's incumbent upon us as parents or, as elders to talk about the things that don't compute, talk about history, because, again, if you leave it to some of these people, the only people that you learn about in school about Black history is Harriet Tubman, Martin Luther King, and Rosa Parks.
But that's why
about Barry Rustin. You barely learn about Thurgood Marshall, because they want to erase the entire Warren Court and all of the cases that came out of the Warren Court that were very progressive and very helpful for everyone, including African Americans. So
a Lincoln gentleman, by the way. But you're right about that, and it's also crazy the ones that we learn about when you actually. And this makes it even more nefarious, right? And look at what's going on now with our history. Because I think history is like one of the most amazing things. It's why when we started talking about the idea of the National Association of Real Estate, that history is never told. But even the history, the people that we do get, we get a different version of who they actually were. We don't even get the real version of those. Yeah, we don't even get the real version of those folks, right? So, by the way, the professor I'm talking about, his name is Professor Yang, Jiang. He has his channel I didn't realize he had 1 million subs, but it's called Predictive History. But he's a Canadian professor, and he has a lot of videos and a lot of interesting things. But he talks often about how you behave with the younger generation in your family, whether it's your nieces, nephews, kids, how you talk to them and how you reinforce whatever they're learning is more impactful than just throwing money at education. A lot of people just tend to just throw money at education. I'm going to send you to this school.
You just said something, Jimmy, predictive history. Did you read any of the foundation books or watch the show Foundations?
Are you talking? You say foundations. You talking about like Tariq Nasheed book? What you said?
I would never mention anything about
I
him.
know, but you said foundational, so I didn't know what you were speaking of. What are you talking about?
So there's a show on Apple TV called Foundations.
Oh, I have watched
by
some of
Isaac,
that. Okay.
by Isaac Asimov. I might be saying his name.
I did watch Isaac Asimov. So I did watch. Let me see, because I can tell you right now which ones I watched. I do know what you're talking about now.
Yeah, but it talks all about that. I think it's an excellent book. It's an excellent show, and you just made me think about that. And I brought this up real quick because I wanted to give Liz and Courtney a shout out because we all did an event on Sacred Ground. If you're in the village, you know what I'm talking about. But at Sullivan Progress Plaza, at their new Welcome to North Philadelphia Welcome Center. And I just want to say I had such a great time. I love being around smart people, including Jimmy. It was really, really great. And I can't wait to do more. Now, Liz, I think you said something about an application or resume, but I don't think you need that. I think you already been down, so I don't see why you would even say that. But
Liz,
I can't wait for us to do more stuff.
Liz, you are family. You whatever you need, you're a part of whatever we do.
Yeah, appreciate you so much.
So when are we doing a wealth conference?
Ooh, there we go. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, where you want to do it at? Well, you know what? Offline conversation. Yes, we should do one. All right, I'll ask this question publicly. What part of the year you want to do it? And do you want to do it in 2026 or 2027?
2026.
I have a can we call it the Clean Glass Conference? Come on, can we call it the Clean Glass Conference? Listen, let's invite our friends that are legit about the community and operate, from the standpoint of a clean glass.
So, I mean, we talked about that before, right? We talked about having, I don't even know, we said we wanted to make it like an anti-conference, but we wanted to invite all the not get rich wealth people, the people who are trying to hop on the new wave, but really want to empower folks. I mean, I'm down to do it. I don't know if people really want to see it though.
Hey, yo, I don't know if Don is still watching. Don, if you're still watching, I want you to come up for that, man, and do a whole session on using your military benefits to build wealth.
That would be so good.
Actually, we could get him and Marquis to do something back to back because they both are military folks who are in the village. Yeah,
absolutely.
I would love to do that. To do that.
See, I'm thinking, man. Let's
I love it. I'm just wondering if people, because I feel like people just want to see the liars in action. They don't want real substantive.
People want to see who's gonna perform at the conference. Is what they want to see.
Okay.
But I think people are getting away from it. I think enough people have gotten burned from the get rich quick, the game, the $20 free game. I think enough people have gotten burned by that they actually want
all the people who are real estate gurus are now saying they don't want to do real estate no more. Real estate sucks. But yeah, whatever.
But you know what's funny?
Here he goes. Listen, here he goes. This is the mature version after Black Forces. Here he goes. You get the black North Face.
Why are you always calling my ashy, Martin?
Because he was trying to be funny. He's trying to be funny. He's trying to slander me. Kamari, I don't know if you noticed this though. I bought like 3 pair after that, and I wore a fresh one.
You had a husky pair on yesterday.
Yeah, just to troll you. I was a
little colorful, but I
was giving you a layup. But I do think it's funny, right? So being in real estate for so long at this point, I'm old and washed, right? So I've lived through 2000, 2008. I'm used to this part of the cycle where people are like, I don't do real estate no more. Like I'm so used to this part of the cycle that I don't really pay attention because I have so many people send me those clips, and it's like
because that's like you just said. That's what happened after 08. So anytime something bad happens, people are like, "No, I'm off that." But what I find interesting, and Jimmy says this all the time, The corporations are still buying real estate. So what does that tell you? What does that tell you? I digress.
Yeah.
I digress. And we were talking about those clips, and I don't want to necessarily go into them, but people are saying they're not in real estate. They got a bunch of doors and not making any money now. But what I was saying to y'all is, Jimmy, you said they're over leveraged, which is true. But I think the bigger problem is, and I don't want to say this, but they just want to get money real quick in a flash, in a pan, and they want to spend money and be like everybody else, and they want to be Uber consumers. They don't want to be builders and investors. So I don't even think they really need a whole lot of attention, in my opinion.
All right. So I don't want to get into the specifics of what we're talking about because here's why, right? Because again, I'm making it my business not to talk down or slander other folks, but I just want to talk about numbers. And the reason I said that it's about over leveraging, and part of what you're saying is right, that goes to the psychology. But the psychology of money probably is more important than the actual numbers, if we're being honest. But the numbers matter too. And the reason being is because even if you transition from one business to the other business, if your whole business is built upon debt, you're going to have a problem. Your whole business is never built upon cash flow.
Built on that, but flashy, being the flyest nigga, right? They all want to be fly niggas. No, because that's what it is. That's really what it is. We gotta call a thing a thing, right? That's what they want to do. They want to spend. They want to be Uber consumers. And so now that their real estate's not kicking off a whole bunch of money, or their burst strategy backfired, and they don't have abundance of cash to buy some white labels and some white bullshit, they're like, I can't do this no more. So it's not even really about the asset or the business. They're like,
listen, man,
I can't be a fly nigga.
So I think it depends upon how you consider what's fly, right? I read a book this last year about Hetty Green. And for those who don't know who Hetty Green is, do your knowledge on Hetty Green. Hetty Green was like, all right, so Hetty Green was one of the first millionaire women on Wall Street. And because she was so smart with her money and how she behaved and the way she valued things, and because she was a woman, she got treated a little bit different. She got labeled as being a supreme miser. And if you look her up, if you look up miser white woman, she'll probably pop up. Like, she got labeled that way. But if you read again, it goes to not just looking at the headlines and reading the text. If you look at some of her principles, they're no different than some of the things that Warren Buffett often talks about. But Warren Buffett wasn't a white woman in the early 20th century preaching these same things. But she was literally funding full railroads and everything out of like a little side shop, and she made millions upon millions upon millions of dollars. But how she got labeled was kind of crazy. But the reason I bring that up is because hearing her story, right, or hearing other stories, to me, that's the fly. So fly, when you say fly to me, it all depends upon how you see fly.
Yeah, but we ain't talking about you.
I'm just giving you an example of all depends on how you see fly.
Listen, speak to the mindset that they're speaking to. Now, that's Hetty Green that's in there. And they talked about her ripped up draws and how she wouldn't get new draws.
You see what I'm saying? And a lot of that's not even true, though. When you read the text, a lot of that's not true. A lot of that is how people started to market her because they were offended that a woman was building wealth the way she was built. They said a lot of stuff, people start talking about her hygiene and all that, and none of it was really true. But she was ahead of her time, right? Again, some of her rules and things she found, like, what they did was to make people not want to work with her and to like kind of, because she was a woman. And again, this is, people don't realize, right? And Corey says this all the time. He says the three most hated people in America are black folks, poor folks, and women. And if you happen to be all three, you in some real danger. But when you look at how she was treated, again, this goes to reading the text and not just the headlines or some of the nefarious things that were put out there about her. None of that stuff was true.
I mean, damn, how do you get into the Guinness Book of World Records for being the stingiest woman in history?
Because I'm
agreeing with you, but I'm just thinking like that's wild.
Yeah, she bucked the system.
But the principles were use your money. It's in the greatest, the richest man in Babylon, right?
Yeah. Her principles are what they were.
Slaves. Yes.
But they didn't want a woman teaching people that. And the other thing that she had that kind of made it so they can say whatever they want to say about her is she literally didn't care.
Yep.
They would talk about her hygiene and how she was cheap and she didn't care about this person or that person. And she was like, I'm just going to keep getting money. And she did.
Yeah.
I like that. We should embody some of that. Like, to stop, I think we do care a lot about what certain things look like.
Mhm.
to everybody else. And at the end of the day, like, it doesn't really even matter. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. And I think that's across, and I'm not just even talking about money. Like, I think a lot of people, like, okay, so I'm gonna shout out my nail tech. So the person who does my nails is an attorney,
Oh wow.
right?
Black
And
attorney,
she doesn't, I'm sorry,
black attorney.
black attorney does my nails. And and I was talking to somebody else the other day, and she was saying, "Oh, I really want to become I think she's a science teacher, and she wants to be a massage tech, a massage therapist. I'm sorry." And she was like, "Oh, I'm just so concerned about what other people think. Yo, like, life is too short. You gotta do what makes you happy. But if you're so concerned about what other people think about what you are doing, you're focused on the wrong thing.
I
Because
was
people
having
gonna
this.
talk."
I was having this conversation with a young boy the other day, right?
Hmm.
And I was telling him that one of the things that comes with age is wisdom. And what you realize as you get older is how much certain things don't
Sometimes.
matter. Yeah, how about that, Kamar? But what you realize as you get older is how much certain things don't matter, right? I'll ask everybody watching this in the chat. How many people remember their first heartbreak, right? And how you felt in the moment and you thought that the world was ending and it never, and right now, until I ask you that question, you probably haven't thought about it in a couple decades, right? Because sometimes you're in the moment and you think that these things or how people see you, these things matter. And what's the saying that if you knew how much people actually didn't think about you, you understand why are you moving for these people? But we
That's
do
a great
that.
quote. That's a
Yeah,
great quote.
we spend so much time worrying about what people think, and it just doesn't matter at the end of the day. It really just doesn't matter. And some of the things you go through in the moment, it feels like it's everything. But then as time goes on, you realize that it's absolutely nothing. Some people probably don't even remember their first heartbreak.
Hmm.
Kamar, you remember your first heartbreak?
Yes, I do, sir. I was devastated.
But my question is, until I asked you that,
Traumatic.
when's the last time you thought about it?
It was a traumatic experience, man. I was heartbroken. I think about it all the time.
What's the last time you thought about it?
I don't know.
See,
It don't
that's what
matter.
I'm saying. Because that's my
Listen,
point.
what I told you, Jimmy, is like we talked about this yesterday, and it's something Courtney just said. Just get money.
Yeah.
I love unity. I love the idea of unity. I believe it's going to work. I think it's going to take a lot to get to it. So in the interim,
I'm just curious though.
I know, but I'm just saying, in the interim, I'm just going to get money. So I don't know the last time I thought about my traumatic heartbreak.
Was she older woman?
I cried about it. All my women are older women, man.
Whoa. Okay, now let's unpack that for a second.
No, I'm not getting on your couch. Are you trained?
Listen, we got a couple therapists in the chat. I want to unpack that.
No, listen. First of all, I don't trust you, Jimmy, because anytime I'm vulnerable with you, you take my trauma and you use it against me.
That is not true. That is so unfair to say. That's unfair to say, beloved. We got some therapists in the chat. We need to unpack why Kamari only deals with older women.
So yeah, Mary's my homie.
Yes, she is. I want her to unpack why you only deal with older women.
No, that's not what I said. I said a lot of them were older women.
You said all of them. You said all of them, not a lot of them.
Oh, so
you said all of them.
Today you decided to listen to me. Okay.
No,
so
listen, someone put your quote in the chat, by the way.
I'm a lefty too. We are like 7% of the population.
But I wonder how many people actually. It probably should be higher.
Oh, I love the little. Did y'all?
Yeah, no, that only works for you, by the way. But
you're on your phone.
I wonder how many people actually were supposed to be, but they forced them out of being a lefty. Because that's a thing too. We shift them because we don't know how to direct them. The joy of community and building community is showing the diversity and variety of existence. We should seek those who know instead of shifting people's natural talents. This is true.
This is such a genius. I love that. And I agree with you 1,000%.
Absolutely. Girls High is not on the chopping block.
Of course not, because you know why? Y'all got a great alumni. Y'all got a great parent-teacher association. Y'all got all the things. You got great students.
That's not true. That is not true.
Y'all don't have a great. What part's not true?
Hold on. The reason why Girls High is not on the chopping block is because we have a fantastic principal over there. Shout out to 243 Khadija Agro. She is amazing, and she's the only reason why Girls High.
No, stop. Because you said everything I said not true. So are you telling me y'all don't have a great alumni?
So we do have a great alumni.
Yes.
But
all right, so that's a yes. That's a yes. No. Yes. We're not going to do this long. You have a great parent-teacher association.
It's a parent-daughter association. But what I was really saying, I have, seriously, because
I
this
don't
is
want to
something
take
that
nothing
has to
away
be
from the
said.
sister. I don't want to take nothing away. I'm just saying,
No,
are
but
those
I'm
things true?
telling you, she's the reason. I'm
Okay.
telling you, she
Okay.
is the reason. It's
All
not
right.
because Girls High has had a significant decline in enrollment over the last 15 to 20 years. And the work that she's done over the last 2 years has basically put Girls High out of the range of the chopping block. Yes, we have a great alumni association. Yes, we have an engaged parent daughter teacher association, PD, whatever we used to call it. But really, it's the leadership at the helm of the school, and that cannot be undersold. I really, really want to talk about that very, very intently, because again, we can say all the other things, but she is the reason. She is the reason.
Let's salute her too, because that's important,
Absolutely.
right?
Black women
Because
matter. Black
no,
women matter.
specifically in education, right? Because
Yes.
man, listen, that's everything.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Our list has so many violations. You can't discriminate based on citizenship.
Well,
They
they
are,
can
but
now.
yeah.
I mean, apparently they can now. I mean, all of the things that we took to be, out of, we can't, discriminate on race, citizenship, all these other things. All those things are going away, and there's a poem that I have. Let me go pull up the poem, because every time I see what's going on in the world, I think about it, and it makes me so sad.
Yeah,
All right, while you
I
do
think we
that,
just changed that to not we can't, we shouldn't. I said we shouldn't. But
so I
Nicole
want to read
said,
this. All right,
go
go
ahead,
ahead,
you
Jim.
got it.
Read it. Read
Okay,
it.
I found that my grandfather on my dad's father was about 30 years older than my grandmother. On her father's side, I guess.
Yeah.
Was about 30 years older than my grandmother.
Mhm.
Listen, you start going down them rabbit holes, you find all kinds of stuff out.
So your grandfather was Mexican.
So that's kind of the opposite of the relationship that Kamari talks about, with him out here searching for older women.
Oh, here you go. Here you go.
You said it, I didn't.
See, there you go. Trying to use my trauma against you, man.
I'm not using it against you, man. I'm not using it against you.
Sir.
It's not a joke. I just think it's interesting. All right, so I've learned a lot of stuff about my family before my mom passed. Tyler Perry level movie stuff. Yeah, man. Family history is interesting once you start digging those. Is the word illegal a slur in terms of calling someone an illegal?
No,
I think it
it's
does
not.
dehumanize them,
You know
right?
what?
And I think,
You know what? It is a slur. Yeah, it is. It is. The end.
okay. All
It's a
right.
slur.
But what I was going to say, right, is that black people have always been used demonized words. We should learn from that history and not do the same thing to other people. That's what I was going to say. But I agree, Courtney. As a black man, I broke into tech 4 years ago with no technical background. I was actually working in a factory. The white man nor the Indian man's ice is colder. The Indian just studies more. All righty. He answered my question. Thank you, sir.
I shock people every time I tell them what I do. I'm a computer programmer, and they look at me and just make assumptions. I had someone ask me if I married my husband for money. I said no. He's broke.
Come on, you ain't got to slander the hubby though, right? You ain't got to do all that.
Hey Nicole, you can left that last part out.
No, I appreciate that, because I feel like that's
Of course you do. Of course you do.
Not the dog is a hater. I'm just saying he was raised by Kamari, so you know.
I love
you
it.
Just having all
I'm gonna
kinds
keep
of
doing
fun
that
with
now.
you.
I'm gonna keep doing that.
Yes, I know. Yes, a lot of people think that the white ice is colder. Thank you for answering the question, sir. In high school, I went to a white school, but most of the teachers were black. The principal was white. 3 assistant principals were black. So the 3 assistant principals probably ran the school. I'm guessing.
Interesting.
Folks yell and scream at dogs like they have feelings when they're frustrated. That is true. That is true. Jimmy, I'm not going to tell you what my wife named my dog.
Whoa.
She gave him a middle name.
What's his name?
Jaquavis.
Legend.
The name of the high school was White Station High, by the way. Ooh, yeah, that's
Is that true? That's a real name?
That's
you
problematic.
Went to school in Mississippi?
Well, he's down in Memphis, right? So was it Tennessee? All right, so Jigga says, and what about the dogs who whine and cry when their owners pass? That's true. And when they are taken to the gravesite, that is true.
It's absolutely true. That's why Kamari shouldn't say what he said.
I'm still saying what I said. Jamie Dimon is an entrepreneur type, not a founder. Yeah, but we talked about that too, right? Entrepreneurs. I know Jimmy loves the entrepreneurs.
Absolutely.
They typically make the most money. Those is absolutely fire. I agree, but
I'm about to make them Costco tacos.
They not giving us no money, so we can't talk about them. Rep Parker, what up? What up? What up?
Hey, Rep Parker's in the building.
All right, and the kid. Oh, we got another gang member. Oh, dang.
What's good, Nikia? What's good? 251.
351.
236.
Okay, Nicole is 236 from Girls High.
Right. Chap, gang. All right. What's that saying? Should you able for upping the age via BBB? I'm not sure what that's saying. My only qualm is you have to choose.
So I think they upped the age limit under the OBBB. And then they're saying, yeah, whatever that thing is. I'm not calling it that. And they said the qualm is that you have to choose amongst their pre-selected funds, which is very much like the 529. I get it, but 20-year a max, 100K total is not counted against disability. So basically just talking about the benefits of the ABLE account.
Right.
Yeah, shout out. Yep.
Okay, got you. ABLE plus BTC, big one, is powerful if you know how to use them wisely. I would agree. So this is completely off topic, but Kamara, you are my age. Why is your beard so dark? LOL, just for men. Oh,
now hold up.
Wow.
Now hold up. Now you're gonna somehow. I didn't say this. I want you to understand that I didn't say this. This is in the chat. Nicole says this.
I'm waiting. I'm bracing myself.
No, I have nothing to say. I just, she was asking the question. Do you, are you out here, trying to rewind time? You trying to rewind time?
Listen, do you see this right here? These are all grays. You just can't see it because the lights on me and all that. I got a lot of grays. Plus, I'm bald, right? So, Father Time is catching me up.
Trying to rewind time, beloved?
Yes, I am. Trying to find a fountain of youth. So, I'm sorry.
Understood.
I'm sorry. What y'all thought on Birdsong's statement about Huey saying that the party comprises of internationalists, not princes of pan pizza? So he's talking about the new Black Panther Party chairman here in Philadelphia, or let me be clear, the alleged Black Panther Party chairman here in Philadelphia. I don't have really anything to say about this. I will say this though. The Black Panthers did study other people, like Mao was one of their biggest inspirations. Malcolm X was a big inspiration for Black Panthers. They did talk about injustice to everybody is an injustice to all. But, I don't know. I don't know what's really going on. I'm reserving judgment until further information comes out.
Are you going to Grat Street on whatever that day is?
I'm not doing anything. Listen, my ministry is to help people get money. That's my ministry.
I'm just asking. I was going to make sure.
That's my ministry.
I was going to try to talk you out of it.
Why? Are you going to be there too?
No, sir. I will not be there.
Oh, okay. Listen, but I don't have no smoke for him, no, either. Right? Because I do find it interesting that none of the Black Panther parties are activated right now. In this time, they should be, in my opinion. So,
but I think there's.
And what? Let me clarify real quick. I don't know that to be a fact, right? I haven't seen it activated, so I haven't been looking, but I haven't seen it. But go ahead, Courtney. I'm sorry.
So I think, but none of our major players from that time are actually activated. Like the NAACP, like they're around, but are they?
They're still here. They're still here.
They're still here.
And I don't have no love for NAACP, but
none whatsoever. None whatsoever.
So their history is phenomenal, but they got a lot of issues. They have a lot of issues, especially
so here's what
locally.
Here's what I'll say. And kind of said it earlier. We're in a different time, so even if they are active, I would appreciate if they weren't loud and just out in the front. Sometimes you have to get things done the way you have to get things done, and a lot of times it's not about just making a bunch of noise. It's about actually getting things done.
All right, so Don talks about the invite to the conference or the unconference, anything after June, and I will be there. Thank you, Don.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Like I would say like August. So all right.
Go ahead.
Yeah, because I'm hosting a conference in June, so I can't do anything before that.
Okay, so that's why I was saying August.
Okay.
I said August. So I want to shout out Avenging the Ancestors Coalition.
Yep, shout out to Michael Cord.
Shout out to Michael Cord.
That's because my OG right there. That's my OG right there. No, go ahead. I'm sorry, Courtney. I
He
was
is also a
excited.
barrister. Shout out to the Barristers
Yes, he
Association
is.
Philadelphia.
The angriest
Immediate
black
past
man in America.
presidents. What'd you say?
The angriest black man in America.
Absolutely. So, but just what is the Avenging the Ancestors Coalition? It's a broad-based organization of African American historians, attorneys, concerned citizens, elected officials, religious leaders, media personalities, community activists, and registered voters. It's based in Philadelphia, and its influence is international. It was founded in 2002, which I didn't know, to compel the National Park Service and Independence National Historical Park to finally agree to the creation of a prominent slavery memorial to conspicuously permeate the president's house project.
But they just took that down.
And they just took it down. So
Yep.
again, like, and I'm sure they're going to go back. And the city of Philadelphia has sued to to deal with the issue. I don't know, I haven't read the complaint yet, but I just want to talk about that because again, that is work that's happening in the modern day, the common time of people just coming together and coalescing and saying there's an issue, we're going to deal with it. But they still Michael Kort is a leader, but he still very much gets active, and I'm so excited to see what they're doing because this work has to be done, and it has to be done. I feel like we look at our people up there to be like a leader and be the people that are going to lead the revolution, but the revolution happens on a very local ground, grassroots level, and then it goes up that way. So I'm just very excited that I just had to shout them out because I wanted to talk about just the work they were doing, but I didn't realize that that's what happened. I'm just like, oh, and they just took it down. Oh boy.
Yeah, but
No,
also
actually,
mentioning Brother Michael, right? He also was part of leading to help keep Cheney alive. And I believe they
did.
also sued the state because all the states
They
treat
did.
HBCUs crazy. But yes.
no, but I
Brother
also
Michael
want to,
Kort.
I want to shout out them and figure out a way we can help support them. But the work is being done on multiple levels all over the place. And
It is.
just to kind of reference back to the Dr. King book. Dr. King got one part of the book. It's a little shady, but he still does it with love. And it's the chapter is called like Black Power. And he's talking about like a lot of the rhetoric and people like who were slandering him for being nonviolent or whatever. And he was talking about how a lot of those are good for sound bites, but they don't get any legislation. I was like, ooh, that was a little shady, but
Bars.
It's
He
not
was-
shady though. It's true. It's right.
It's
he was like getting legislation is going to help more families than just getting good sound bites. Ooh, okay.
He said, I'm over it. I'm sick of y'all. I'm sick of y'all.
Yeah, so and I point that out because the work happens at different levels, and a lot of times people want to be loud and obnoxious, specifically on social media, the world we live in now. But there are people actually, to Courtney's point, getting legislation passed. There are people out there actually feeding families. I met a young lady last night who is like just giving away clothes to people that don't have clothes, which is an
Shout out to
amazing.
Crystal Jackson.
Yeah, Crystal Jackson, which is an amazing nonprofit, but she's putting clothes on the back of our folks that don't have clothes.
Yeah. So Anthony says facts. I don't trust anyone on social media who says I'm adding value. I think I said that on social, so you might be talking about me too. All right, Turk. Here you go, man. Here you go.
You said
He
it.
says,
Though.
don't do it, Kamari. Don't do what? What did I do? What did I do? All right. Turk says, when did that become a therapy session for Kamari? I know, right? They always ganging up on me. I don't know what it's about, y'all. I don't know. All right, Turk says, this girl high having bill.
No.
It's called Central. All right, Nicole says people look at black women married to white men and automatically assume it's money.
You said about that too. No, she ain't lying.
She's not lying, but I would wonder, since you put it out there, and the majority of times, is it?
Here's the other part too. With certain black men or white women, people, it's a whole tax time like joke that's been going on for like 15 years now, right? So the narrative with black men is either you are a professional athlete or it's income tax time, right? So
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about, Kamari. That's why you laughing.
I know you cut it up, but you kind of cut it off. You didn't go all the way through, but okay. I think everybody got it.
Yeah.
How do y'all feel about kava? So kava is pretty cool. It's all right.
I like
I've ate them a couple times.
Tasty.
You like it?
It's tasty. Anytime you give me some rice, I'm good.
I need somebody to give me how sometimes you go on TikTok and they like you got to get the ultimate, like they'll give you like a specific because kava you can kind of like make your own,
Yeah.
and it's like I haven't figured out like what's the fire joint yet. Like Chipotle got a bunch of them. I go on TikTok and like get people's Chipotle order. I'm gonna get 5 different orders that's like fire. I don't see that many kava yet. So whatever your kava, is the go to. Let me know what that is.
Also, I've seen on social media some people in Philly talking about Black Panthers. Yep.
That gives me a lot of heartburn.
The Chipotle order or the Black Panther?
The Black Panther, not the Chipotle stuff.
Okay. All right. Also, White Station High School is in Memphis. Okay. At the time, it was the top performing school in Tennessee. White-based school, but empowered by mostly Black teachers and faculty. Story of America. Listen, TSU be getting a lot of smoke too. Tennessee State University, which is a HBCU. From what I understand, they do a lot of great things, and they get all kind of slander from the state legislation. All right, Jacob said, it's weird how the Panthers are so closely associated with Malcolm, but Huey and Bobby spent an immense time studying about Jabril Muhammad in Oakland on one of Elijah's top ministers. I don't have anything to say about that.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
What else we got going on?
Yeah. Hey,
Rachel.
Oh, Rachel.
Rachel has to be a part of the Clean Glass Conference for one.
Yes, she does.
Also,
Absolutely.
Rachel,
Oh,
I need
yeah.
you. I need you March 7th, Rachel. I'm gonna shoot you a message, Rachel. I need you on March 7th if you're free.
Lawrence, the neighborhood finance guy with the finance, what is the Finance Griot podcast?
That's right, Finance Griot.
Shout out to him. Listen, I'm loving the statements you're putting out there, brother. Making me inspired. That man down, by the way. Shout out to both of y'all. Confident is solid.
Yeah, man.
Jabril's also the brother who inspired Farrakhan to speak the final call, to start the final call. But wasn't the final call was Muhammad Speaks when they rejiggered it or whatever? AKA the Nation of, oh God, here we go, the slander. Nation of Scientology. Huey and Bobby never had contact with Malcolm. But they didn't have contact with him, but they were still inspired by it. Just like today, we're talking about MLK. We've never met him, but his work has impact.
Right. I'm laughing at Jamil's next comment.
Oh God. Copper for the win. Wish we had sweet greens here. I like sweet greens.
I like
so
sweet
I can
greens.
buy a $70 salad.
I do too.
Those salads are crazy. They are crazy.
I do too, but I know that they've been consistently going up on their price like every year. It is ridiculous now. It really is ridiculous. I like the kale Caesar they got.
I do too. I was literally like the kale Caesar, but you know what? I'm just gonna make one at home. Like at this point, I'm just like
pretty much, yeah. Because like, yo, and I listen. I get it. Their costs go up, so they got to push it off. I get it. But he ain't far off with. I know he's joking with the 70. It ain't too far off.
But it's not.
It ain't that far off. Listen, if you go with two people, that's easy to happen.
Yeah.
All right, Rachel says, hit her up. Hit her up.
Thank you, Rachel. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you, Rachel. All right. Anybody got anything else they want to talk about?
Man, it looked like the snow slowed down. Is it still snowing out there where you at?
So I think it did the ice thing though, because I heard it. It was doing the ice thing out there for a little bit.
Great. I'm really worried about this.
Why, Kamari?
Because one of my buildings is out of heat. I'm worried about that. And allegedly I can't get that fixed until Wednesday because I need chimneys. So I'm worried about that. And I'm worried about my tenants as well. I bought them heaters. I try not to be a slumlord, right? But sometimes things happen. All right, Anthony says, maybe I need to find a lonely, rotund Yakubian woman tax season. Just kidding. Black Queens forever. Nobody's never. Lord have mercy. Y'all are a mess. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Storm Maryland's mid. Just regular 1 inch of ice. Maryland.
I wish.
Yeah, we don't got that. We don't have that at all.
Yeah, listen, I got snow in my boots going out there. So yeah, it's a little rough.
See, I'm gonna tell you my problem is with this snowstorm, right? I'm on my journey, right, trying to get my health together. And when it snows like this, I just, for some reason, I find myself in the kitchen too much.
Yeah, me too. I'm literally like thinking about like, what is my next snack for the day? I'm like,
so all right, so it's not just me. This snow be activating stuff I'm trying to work on, man. But that's what happens.
So
The law
Ty likes to
says
put stuff
government.
in the air fryer. So he's been in the air fryer recently.
Listen, the air fryer is one of the greatest creations ever known to man. Love the
All right,
air fryer.
Kamar, give me my props because I
Yeah,
put
I
you
was
down.
about to.
Okay, go ahead. I'm gonna be quiet.
And we talked about this on air, y'all. Right? So remember, Jimmy talked about putting a steak in the air fryer. I've done that several times. And oh, daddy, it's good. It's good
Amazing.
meat. It's good meat.
Really?
Hey, yo.
I knew you was gonna say that.
So I never put a steak in the air fryer. I have not done that before.
Try it. Don't do a super thin one now. You gotta be careful with it.
Listen, shout out to all the delivery services. I use Chop, and I get like the
They're not giving us no commercial. They're not giving us no money.
They're not. So I'm gonna chill. But I do want to shout out Courtney though, because Courtney put me down with the greatest home delivery service there is.
And who's that?
Listen, man.
And where was I? I didn't get that.
Listen, man. Cook Unity. Listen. No, see, so Courtney was at the crib, right? And she was looking at the time I was getting what was the name of that other
to the crib. What's up with that?
Come on, you were here yesterday, bro.
That don't count.
Anyway, Courtney was at the crib and she saw that we were getting I forgot the old ones, give me the F, whatever
Factor?
it is. Factor. And she was like, no, you don't gotta get Factor, it's one better. It's called Cook Unity. I never looked back.
What makes it so good?
It's amazing.
The food is amazing. First of all of them are professional chefs. It's all professional chefs. And I get a delivery. I get a delivery every week.
Y'all are highfalutin Negroes. I might not be able to afford that. Is this something poor people can afford?
Yes.
Here you go. First off, you got to stop with the poor stuff, man. Like, you know.
Okay, I'm underprivileged. Is that better?
Yeah. Listen, you got commercial buildings, but I digress.
I got a commercial building that is in a negative.
No, it's not. Stop.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Yes, it is. What do you mean?
It is not.
Y'all don't know what my rent roll is.
And
I got problems collecting rent from people. What y'all talking about?
That's a whole different. That's about your systems as a landlord. That's not about
my systems as a landlord. That's about my daddy's systems as a landlord. And yes, the sins of the father are those of the son. It's in the Bible, y'all.
Listen, man. So with that being said, though, Cook Unity is amazing. I know they're not paying us, so this is the last time you're gonna hear me say this, but Courtney put me down with it, and I have to say thank you. Like, that is amazing.
All right, I'm on the website right now.
I'm actually struggling now because my
use my code.
Use her affiliate code.
Send me the code.
But here's the thing, though. I'm actually a little bit worried because my order usually comes in every Sunday. I get it every Sunday. Yeah. So now I'm like, they sent an email out and was like, maybe a little bit affected. So I'm hoping it comes by tomorrow though, because listen.
So they have, first of all, it's all like ethnic. I guess I have a better word for it, but it's ethnic food. But the food is fantastic. They have this it's all ethnic foods.
Is it white portion size or is it black portion size? Or should I say it's a gourmet
portion
size?
It's American portion size.
It's lunch portions.
If you travel out of America, you realize how our portions are wild. You be like, hold on.
They are.
It's American.
So real quick, I want to touch on this real quick. So Lawrence said, no pause is needed, man. I need you to seek therapy for that.
I probably do need therapy, but not for that.
You need therapy for that. Government shutdown fears are coming up for January 1. Yes. But I believe they changed the rules so certain things won't shut down. I think some of the things won't shut down. Does anybody know the deal on that?
No, I haven't.
It's like one thing. It's like one thing after the next. I feel like we don't even have time to breathe. It's like this and that, and I wonder if is it access to information now because we're all kind of involved in everything and every all the goings on.
That's part of it.
Or is it just like times are really that insane?
Times really that insane.
Got you.
Oh. Lately, deadly shooting by federal agents pushes the government closer to shutdown as Trump claims Minnesota officials are inciting insurrection. That's crazy. This dude has been documented for lying over 30,000 times. The fact that we believe anything from him, I think, is super wild. But anyway,
Minnesota.
Don Johnson says snow already melted. All right, that's that down south.
Don, don't. Listen.
Don't do that to us, Don. We literally have ice falling as we speak.
All right, Anthony says we got 8 inches of snow in Memphis. I'm in the kitchen right now.
I was just in Memphis. I like Memphis.
I've
I
been
didn't
to
I
realize
New
how
York.
love
close
I
they were
love
to Mississippi.
Memphis.
They are so close to Mississippi. It's crazy.
In terms of distance.
Yeah. I
Are
went
they
to.
at
I was
least,
in
they're
Memphis
like
and I
2
went to
states
the
away, right?
mall. Huh?
They're like 2 states away, right? At least state away.
No. No.
Tennessee. So Tennessee is the cut up version of North Carolina. So all right, at least a state away. All right. Are you all using glass, stainless steel, or ceramic air fryers? That's a great question.
You can keep
BFAs are the big knock on them now, but it's hard to escape the beast. That's a great question.
I don't even use my oven no more. Like,
No, the air fryer.
no, I'm
Yeah.
saying because
Yeah,
of the air fryer, I don't use my oven no more. Like, I'm an air fryer chef.
So Jamel, which one do you have? Do you have a ceramic one, stainless steel, glass? Which one do you got? I think mine might be plastic now. Think about it. I gotta look at it because
I
that
gotta
is
look mine too.
BFAs are a
I
thing.
never even thought about it, nor looked at it. I gotta look at mine.
Yeah.
I should look at it. But no, I'm about to make my brie pocket with the strawberry jam on top. Yeah.
Listen, y'all making me hungry. I'm trying to get out the Fat Boy Club.
Nicole said I've been doing food delivery since 2020. And listen, Cook Unity actually helps me
She
though.
rich. She rich.
Nicole, Cook Unity is top of the line.
Rachel says poor question mark. Stop it.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yes, thank you, Rachel. Thank you, Rachel.
Thank you.
Kamari is poor like Scrooge McDuck. Listen, man, y'all don't
Nobody's
understand my
gonna
struggle. I got kids, I got grandkids. It's
Listen.
hard out here for me.
Courtney, I don't know if you saw this, but last week I would happen to be looking. I was on YouTube and I'm like watching. So sometimes what I do is I'll watch like the different press conferences and see what's going on in the city. So I'm watching the mayor's press conference and I look to her left, and who do I see standing behind the mayor? One Kamari Ellis, and I was like, hold up. This is the guy who hobnobs with the elite, the upper echelon folks in our community.
The Philly tax team.
I'm just saying. Listen, just because I got a shout out for the mayor does not mean that I am rich or well off.
I'm just saying.
My salary
I
is
happen to,
beneath
and the funny thing
Courtney's
is,
and Jimmy's.
so I went to his page. I'm like, he ain't even posted. He's trying to keep this low key.
I did post it. What do you mean?
I didn't. Maybe you posted it after the fact. I saw it in real time. I got to go back to your page now because I didn't see you post it.
Oh, man, come on, man! I posted it. I absolutely posted it. Let me find my press conference release. Let me see where it's at. All right, so Memphis literally borders Memphis, Arkansas, and Missouri. Oh, I didn't know that. Y'all called
Yeah,
it
I literally went to the mall. I was in Memphis and I had to go to the mall and I went to Mississippi.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never been to. Have I been to Tennessee?
So my grandfather is from Memphis and he was born in Arkansas.
Okay, I'll stand corrected.
Yeah. So apparently I'm part of the Arc-Tex something Creoles. That's my little group.
Are you Creole? You Creole?
I am Creole.
Okay. So don't start speaking no curses on me, all right?
Kamari.
Yes.
Kamari.
All right, Nicole says cheaper than ordering out. It is? The ordering is cheaper than ordering out?
It is.
No, it really is. It really is. Especially because the ordering out now is wild because listen, DoorDash and Uber, dog, the tax they put on something.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Well, I will make sure I will start looking at Cook Unity.
And I hate doing a commercial for them, but it's that good.
All right. Lawrence says, damn, a shout out from the mayor. That's major.
Thank you, Lawrence. Thank you, Lawrence.
Well, I did post it here, but I will do more. All right. So Warren says, I respectfully disagree with your take on the word illegal. Warren, that was like an hour ago, man. Come on. But all right, why do you disagree, Warren? You told us you disagree. We told you why we think it is a slur. Listen, I don't think Black people should participate with any of the bullshit that we experienced in the past.
Agreed.
Just because everybody is doing it doesn't make it right.
Absolutely.
But tell us why. I mean, I know you're here. You're part of the clan. You're part of the family. So tell us why.
Mm-hmm.
So what else are you cooking, Courtney?
So what else am I cooking? So yeah, my pocket of brie is actually probably at the top of my list. But that has to go in the oven because I don't know how to make it in the air fryer. But if I figure out how to make it in the air fryer, it's over for y'all.
Man, listen.
Am I going to get like a doggy bag or something?
No.
So how's it over for me then? Because I'm never going to find out about it. I'm not going to find out. I'm not going to find out about it. I won't know about it.
The pocket of brie. I mean, I can pick.
So you're not going to share. You're going to be selfish and just not share.
Sure, I'm being selfish.
Yo, so I'm sitting here. I'm sorry, yo. I was looking at my text message. So I'm sitting here looking at. I sent my list of properties that I need shoveled, right? And he mistakenly, so he has a team working with him. So he mistakenly sent a text back to me with the different joints they got to do. He's adding mine to the list. Yo, these cats out here getting a bag back. It's like 200 properties over here, bro.
I ain't mad at it.
Listen.
I'm not mad at it at all.
Yo, one thing I'll tell you about Philadelphia is we are the home of the hustlers, yo. We are the home of the hustlers. This snowstorm started coming. I've seen people selling generators,
salt,
snow blowers, salt. I'm talking about on the street, by the way, all these things. I saw someone, what was they selling yesterday? It was something else, like gasoline. I'm like,
you saw somebody selling gasoline
in the back of a pickup truck where they had salt and a bunch of stuff. They had like little canisters of gasoline. I was like, yes, what's going on here? Listen, Philly is the home of the hustlers.
Gasoline.
Shovels the whole nine, man. Anyway, man, get back to I got a couple more comments, don't we, Kamar?
Now we do, because Warren has responded. Courtney, you want to read that?
We always rebrand words. For example, a prison is now called the Department of Corrections. The actual, like, a prison is a prison or a jail, but they're housed under the Department of Corrections. So it's not a rebrand, it's actually the proper name.
But to this point, we do rebrand words, right? Saying homeless is not allowable anymore. You're supposed to say unhoused. So
that doesn't even make any sense, though.
But I also feel like I think there's a difference between being unhoused and homeless, right? So there's a difference between the two. Let's talk about that. But the other part about it,
I think it's also happens in ours too. But go ahead.
But I also feel like that's part of moving forward, right? We are supposed to be progressive. We're supposed to be moving,
I agree.
So the fact is, words will be changed. Like the way words are used and how they're used, that's a thing. I'm not saying that you're wrong in saying that, but I think that specific example is wrong. But the rebranding of words is a thing, and it always will be a thing.
Well, we rebranded as a community. We were Negroes. Then we became then we became Afro-Americans, and then we became African Americans, and then every so often we're Black. It just depends. So the point is that if you call, and like at some point we were coloreds, and now coloreds is not an appropriate word.
No, it's not.
So again, but to the point about, like, I agree with Kamari. It's like, just because somebody says something doesn't make it right. And at some point we have to say, like, yeah, that's not acceptable. And a lot of times we are the people pushing back on what's acceptable and what's not acceptable. And I'm just not calling
we are always on the right side of history, though.
Yeah,
we're always on the right side of history.
Like, I'm not calling anybody an illegal. Like, that's just not right. I mean, and it's crazy. No person or human is illegal just because they're not a citizen. Like, stop it.
And technically, those who came to Plymouth Rock were the original illegals.
I mean, yeah, all of the things. So it's just like, stop it. I'm just over it. Stop.
Small business owners. If your business brought in less than $250,000 in 2024, you qualify for free tax preparation.
All right, so you said out
to Philly small business owners. If your business brought in less than $250,000 in 2024, you qualify for free tax preparation thanks to Mayor Sherrell Parker's new program. Philly Tax Team is one of the local firms chosen to help. We file your city, state, and federal returns,
including the business income and receipts tax, or BERT.
First off, as I said, you didn't post anything about it. I don't know what that is or who that is.
What do you mean? I did post it.
No, that right there is not true.
Art, sir. You cannot disparage my art.
No, that's not art right there. That is.
So you want to tell me what my art is?
That's creepy.
That's very elitist.
That's creepy. That's why I didn't see it, because I thought I was waiting for you, Kamari.
No, you didn't see it because you listen. You got to pay attention to everything I do. It's all art. It's all information. It's all important.
No, but your AI clone is creepy, bro. Why is he talking so fast for one? Why is he talking like this? What? Like, what's he doing?
Because you only got a little bit of time. People got short attention spans.
Tell that man to slow down. Tell that robot to slow down, man.
Jigga says, gotta love Knoxville, Tennessee, 2 hours to Nashville, 4 hours to Memphis and Atlanta, 3 hours to Lexington. I believe Lexington is Kentucky, Cincinnati, Charlotte, Charleston, and Myrtle Beach, 7 to Detroit, 10 to DC, and Jacksonville. Wow. That's like really a major hub. I guess isn't FedEx in like Memphis or Knoxville one of them? All right, the problem is those hustlers all need to survive. I believe that's what you're trying to say, all need to survive. So, wait a minute, homeless equals K-lined? Who's that? I don't know what that is. Jamel being spots I don't even be knowing about. We are literally called people of color. I don't.
No, I don't even answer to that. I hate that. I mean,
so technically we are, because we're all children of the sun. We got melanin, but yeah, I don't.
Yeah, well, I mean, some people will say that BIPOC, by whatever,
and that doesn't make sense to me. But
it doesn't
I get
either.
it.
But
thank you, Nicole.
But we're not colored. Like, I want to be clear, we're not colored.
So no crayon was put on us, is what you're saying.
Yeah, like
Warren says I'll move on. I love the broadcast and blessings to y'all. Listen, Warren, we want to hear your perspective though. Like, so don't think we scraping your side.
We don't have to agree on every point.
All right, so Nicole says, I agree, Jimmy, that was creepy. But see, here's the thing, right? Y'all have a bias. Y'all know me. Y'all know me in real life. What about people who don't know me? They don't care.
They ain't gonna want to know you once they hear that voice, that creepy robot.
You have no data to substantiate your point, sir.
I don't.
We should do an AD test just to do it.
All right.
OJ house guest.
Oh, wow. Y'all be bugging. All right, but I will do actual video talking about this at some point, because the dope thing about the program is I do help out a lot of people for free, for business owners. So these are programs that I can legally push them to. And to make sure they get in compliance. So that's something that the mayor is doing. I think it's a really good thing. I think the mayor's actually doing a pretty good job. I know some people don't like it. Some people don't like her because she's a Black woman, but that's a whole other thing. Yeah. All right. FedEx headquarters is in Memphis and the second largest hub of UPS.
Hey, Rachel, just want you to know I got your text. I'll respond once we off here, but thank you. Thank you so much.
All right. So now I'm hungry, y'all. Thanks to y'all.
Listen, man. Listen.
It's time for a
yes,
mid-afternoon snack.
Yes, it is.
All right, so we need a weather check before we bounce out, right?
Yes. What does it look like, y'all?
In Philly, anybody in Philly, can y'all tell us what it's looking like in Philadelphia area?
Yo, Jamil is crazy.
Yo, Nicole, you be slandering me really heavy. Sometimes I be thinking
that's not slander. See, the reason I appreciate Nicole.
Of course, you don't think it's slander because you are chief slander in chief.
She is speaking truth to power. That I told you this offline. I was like, yo, your AI dude is a little creepy. You gotta chill.
That's okay. No, I don't have to chill.
No, I know you don't. You don't mean you really don't have to, but I know that I know you're trying to be. You're trying to be lazy and put somebody else to work. You're trying to.
All right, so I think, shout out to Edwin. All right, I think the saying Afro-American is wrong. John F. Kennedy wasn't Irish-American. Actually, he did say he was Irish-American. He was just American. So you all are just American. I don't agree with that. So one of the things with JFK's election, maybe he thought he wasn't going to win the election because he was Irish-American. Like, that's well documented.
Oh no, he claimed to be Irish American too. They had a lot of their organizations and everything that they called themselves Irish American.
So I don't think it's anything wrong with claiming your set, your tribe, your people.
There's a thing as Latin American. Latin Americans are a thing, but Polish Americans, like,
Listen, my AI guy walking down the beach was everything to me. I was thinking about going on vacation. And a matter of fact, I might do another one about me going on vacation as I sit here and walk through like a half a foot of snow.
You got to get his voice changed. You got to work on him because
that's my happy space. That's my happy place.
Yeah,
leave my heart alone. And Jimmy,
All
you're
right.
just wrong for disparaging my heart, sir. But I get it.
No, listen, bro. I want you to be creative. I just want you before you put it out to the public. I want you to work on it more, right? Don't put the beta project out.
Why? Microsoft made billions of dollars on beta projects.
Okay, so now here you go. Compare yourself to Microsoft.
I don't care. They're a trillion dollar organization.
Okay.
All right, Jigga says, get yourself a Vice Lord Burger, Kamari. Just ask for a cheeseburger with gyro meat. I think Jimmy's about to say pause. Lettuce, tomatoes, onions. Sauce.
It's not pronounced.
Where is that? From where? Where are we getting that from?
That's in Chicago.
We were talking about that the other day.
That's either here or there, man.
Yeah. So that's not 11 Labs. That's not 11 Labs.
Sound like it.
Yeah. Listen, I be having fun, y'all.
Nicole said, change his voice. Please do.
Why?
Sounds creepy.
Why? That's fine. Y'all know me. Y'all are biased.
We're not biased. That's because, maybe we know you and we're not biased.
But maybe you do know me and you are biased. Is that possible?
Or maybe it's just creepy. Sometimes it just can be what it is.
Okay.
Right.
All right. Or maybe it's just fun. It's fun.
Maybe it's fun to you. Enjoy yourself, beloved.
Some people are resistant to change in technology. So,
No, I don't. I'm not talking about the actual technology. I'm talking about what you've used the technology to create.
Sounds like a crystallized Barry White. Sure, you're right.
Sounds like a Barry White on crystal meth is what it sounds like.
Oh my gosh.
I wouldn't know anything about that. I wouldn't know anything about that, sir. You want to tell us something, Jimmy?
The voice sounds wild.
How would you know that, though? How do you know what crystal meth sounds like?
I live in Philly. I've been to Frankfurt.
Okay. I've never met anybody in Philly that did meth. Now the surrounding county.
Now you're lying. Now you're lying. You never been to Frankfurt then?
Definitely been a place. I used to play Frankfurt. I used to play ball in Frankfurt. What are you talking about?
This is a very different Frankfurt than Frankfurt.
Pretty much. The Frankfurt you went to, the Frankfurt is out there now.
Not the same place.
Anyway,
I've been around the projects too, but yeah. All right.
Yeah,
So
but you're talking about the Afro American section. I'm talking about the crystal meth section of Frankfurt.
Okay, depending on what you call Frankfurt, but all right.
You know what I'm saying? Anyway, with all that being said, though, listen, man, we appreciate you guys. We've been on here at this point. How long have you been on here, Kamari? 3 hours.
3 hours. And this is not the longest show we've ever done.
This is
light
true.
work. This is light work.
Yeah, this is true.
It's fun though, y'all.
No, it absolutely is. We talked about a lot of things. Kamari cyberbullied me. So, but we good though.
I did not cyberbully. Why do
you You started the show off cyberbullying Courtney. You literally started the show off cyberbullying Courtney.
You brought this up.
The Philly tax team.
Right? That's cyberbullying.
No, I'm proud of you. I was proud of you. I was upset that you didn't share.
Why did you come out and say, Kamari, I'm proud of you?
I did.
Your man that doesn't allow you to appreciate another black man. Black man.
I literally just said it on live in front of the world. What do you mean?
I didn't
see that.
Listen, I just said it. I said I was proud of you. I was upset that you didn't share with everybody. Yo, Kamari be trying to be too humble. We was in a space yesterday and he was like, yeah, I do taxes. I'm like, no, this is I had to say his resume for him because he was trying to be humble.
When you snatched the mic from me because I said I want to be anywhere positive black people are.
I didn't snatch the microphone from you. You be being too humble, man. You gotta,
Listen, man. What was the way?
Respect.
No.
All right. Do you know anybody who calls themselves SBA offline in Philly? I don't know. I tried to avoid FBA. What were you about to say to me?
I don't know if I've ever heard anyone offline call themselves that in Philly or anywhere else that I've been. To be honest with you, to me, I've only heard it online. And again, I understand the idea of differentiating yourself, but I think that sometimes it goes beyond that. But I've never heard anyone call that. And again, there's no standard. And God bless.
And
I've never heard about it.
You just talked about how Dr. King mentioned that in his book. You want to talk about that real quick?
No, he does mention in his book. He talks about how they try to keep us separate. And he said it goes beyond delineation with African Americans and people from the continent. He talks about the idea of poor people versus the oligarchs and how they keep us fighting with these things. They make us feel like we're different. Mm-hmm. Most of us want the same thing, right? We want to take care of our families. We want to have, place to lay our head. We want to have food. We want to have shelter. But they keep us fighting with all kinds of nonsense. Meanwhile, we're not paying attention to what's really going on in different levels where, oligarchs are just acquiring all the resources and leaving what he called working class and poor people to fight amongst each other. You know, so there's that.
Damn, I got almost 9 inches where I'm at.
God.
Snow, Jimmy, get your mind out the gutter, man.
I didn't say anything, bro. I'm
But
literally just minding my business.
You think, man. I know how you think.
I'm minding my business. You're out of control.
So 5 inches in the city.
Listen, y'all.
6 inches by the bridge.
Yeah, we probably got something closer to what you got, Kamari.
We got about 9.
Probably, based on where
crazy.
we are. We usually get what the suburbs gets.
Yeah,
Jimmy probably don't got no snow.
Yeah, probably not. He lives in a high-fluting area of Philly.
Here you go. I live in poverty, man. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's a lot. Got remote controls on his locks and his cars and even his boots.
Oh, says the man, you got 3 cars, though. What are you talking about?
I have 3 20-year-old cars. Your one car is worth more than all my cars combined, sir.
That's
listen, get the Kelly Blue Book, man. And listen, shout out to my daddy. I might have stunned like my daddy.
First of all, one of us live in the suburbs, one of us live in the city. So
I live in the North Philly of the suburbs. I live in the poor section.
I also live in a city.
Yeah, me and Courtney are city dwellers. You live in the suburbs, so you know.
Courtney and Jimmy both live in very rich parts of the city.
We do.
I actually would love to live in the section of the city that Courtney lives in, a little bit further on the other side. And I don't think I'll ever be able to afford that, though.
Hold up, does it work for me? Like, if I do this, does it work?
No, you got to be on my iPhone.
What you mean? I am recording this part for my iPhone.
Oh, you are?
It just don't work for me. It's hate.
All right, so Andy says, yo, I'm outside removing snow in my car. It's cold as SHIT. Don Johnson says, pause, all capital letters plus exclamation points. There's a channel called Knoxville Media that replays all the public city meetings, just trying to get a feel if how municipalities work as a nonpartisan, non-voter. Listen, most cities have that actually, though. It's part of public access.
Do you still sit on the board of that county, whatever county you were sitting on the board of? You were on some county board, and the dude. She was on
the Philadelphia County board. She was on a Pike.
No, it wasn't Philly. It was one of them. It was another county. It wasn't Philly.
It wasn't Pike.
No, it was one of those boards you were on, and the dude used to come in there and like question y'all about y'all salaries and all that. Because I used to watch it.
That sounds like Upper Darby.
Yeah.
Upper Darby, all right.
I was solicitor for Upper Darby, yeah.
Okay, all right. I remember that. I used to watch them and be dying laughing because it was the one dude who used to come in there all the time and question everything y'all did, y'all salaries, and
my life. Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, he questioned your whole life.
Definitely loved it.
Yeah.
All right, what you got, Jamel? What you got? Let her rip.
He said, "Go up to my question."
Go up to his question.
Oh, wait a minute. I didn't see it. I'm sorry.
What was
Sorry, my brother. That's Don said. I don't like uppy. I prefer Black Americans.
Also, I want to shout out Supplement too. One of our sponsors is Supplement. Supplement, for those who don't know, is a Black-owned bottle company. They make the best bottles in the world. They're better than the Yeti. They're better than the Contigo. All the different things y'all be using. This is a Black-owned company. It's called Supplement. And
I had to get it on.
The website is getsupplement.com. It's SUPLMNT. Getsupplement.com and get you a bottle. I got a bunch of them. They're amazing. You know, I got the black bottle here, black bottles forever.
I'm cracking up. My child Jordan has one.
Oh, look at
Shout out to Jordan. Shout out to Jordan.
So he stole it from his father. So there's also that.
So look at Kamari. Kamari got the white supplement bottle because
better than this.
No, because just like the chick was talking about Harvard.
You can't put coffee in his.
Oh, what you mean? What you mean you can't put coffee in it?
Put coffee in that thing, man.
Why can't you?
I need to get off coffee anyway. But all right, hold on. I want to get to Jamel's question.
What did he ask?
All right, so serious question. How can I get into the inner circles of politics here in Knoxville? Inner circle is subjective. 85% Euro, but I've been watching the city council, police board, transportation, and the other city meetings. So we all can speak to that. I want all of us to go, but he asked me first. So I would say, one, Jamel, go out and meet your elected officials. Start there. Go actually meet them, pull up on them, walk up to them, go to their events, go to their offices, right? Read about the actual issues in the city. I'm sure Memphis has a city paper. Check that out. Right, that's another thing to do. Figure out a politician that you like. Contribute money to them if you like them. That's one way to get into politics. I won't say the inner circles of politics, because in all places, politics is about relationships, and relationships get tricky. And so just because you give somebody money, or your man knows your man's, and yada yada yada, doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be able to get into the inner circle. But Courtney, what do you think about that question?
I have no thoughts.
So Courtney can't answer that because she works in the inner circles of politics.
Yeah, what I'll say is
Jim.
find organizations that kind of support whatever your agenda is, and support those organizations, and find out another way to get in through there. Also,
great response. Great.
My main answer is also kind of what Kamari said, just like pull up, right? Pull up at the meetings, pull up and study, but actually show your face in the place. But yeah, organizations are always a great start in my opinion.
And also, I said newspaper, but also you can do a search on TikTok or IG, just what's going on in Knoxville, or just Knoxville, and just see what's going on there. It will definitely be enlightening. But you did something great that I wish more people did do. You're actually watching the meetings, right? There's a plethora of information that's going through these meetings. People don't watch it. Elected officials know people don't watch.
Yo,
right?
It's crazy.
And so they use that to their benefit.
Because I'm on the city council, and the mayor's like, I follow their YouTube channels literally, and they get less views than we do. And I'll be like, I mean, this is how, this is how I saw Kamari standing back there. I was like, hold up, hold up. I know I had the big no, I had the big boy reaction. I said, I know that ain't who I think it is.
But wait, what about my name? Why are you calling me that? Why you call my name? What happened?
Because you were laughing at Jimmy's comment about me.
Because it was funny.
It's true though. I listen. I watch all the joints. I watch all the city, because it's always, I watch city council joints in the real estate space specifically, because sometimes they'll just throw in like a zoning change to a block that has nothing to do with the whole conversation.
Yep.
And as someone who operates in real estate, I try to stay abreast of everything in real estate. And it's funny, I was having this conversation. You were there yesterday, Kamar, and someone was talking about matter of fact, it's when we were talking to Dave.
Yep.
And he was talking about the idea of realizing how there can be external influences that affect your property.
There'll be political external influences that will.
Yeah, and that's actually a thing in politics, right? I mean, not politics, in appraisal theory, right? Where they talk about things that affect your value of your property. It's an acronym called PEGS, P-E-G-S, which is something physical, which means on your property, some repairs you got to make, something physically that you have to do to your property. But then there's economic influences, things that are going on with the economy. But then the big one is G, governmental, right? Governmental influences. What are the politicians doing, and the decisions they make can affect your value. And the last one is social. What are the social changes going on? So I always think about that. So as someone who's operating in the valuation space and real estate in general, I watch all the different community meetings, whether it's the mayor's meeting, whether it's city council. If I can find a way to watch the state meetings, I'll do that too. But because you have to stay abreast of what's going on if you want to operate in certain spaces.
There's money there. All right, so Jamel says, I'm already cool and plugged in with the county mayor, Glenn Jacobs, aka Kane. I don't know if that's slander or joke, or we're talking about Kane from
well, no.
Power.
So hold. He said something really important here, and I know
I'm about to read it. He always told me to go to city council meetings, and my voice counts regardless if I vote or not. I agree with that, but go ahead.
It doesn't. It really doesn't. I'm gonna keep it 100.
Whoa. What doesn't?
Your voice does not count if you do not vote. It really does not make a difference. You can run your mouth all day, all night, and if you do not actually put your check mark next to whatever you believe in or you're arguing about, then it doesn't mean anything. You're just blowing smoke. I think a lot of people don't understand that it actually makes a difference. There's so many elections that are missed or that are won or lost on 2 or 3 votes. You have to find somebody who definitely aligns with what your thoughts are as you learn your process and go from there. But like, not voting is not an option. Like, it's just not.
All right, so hold on. He said something else. So all right, I'll comment on that after I read this. He also told me to use government as a resource and reach out to state and U.S. congressmen if I have issues, regardless if I vote or not. He said use them at your disposal. Again,
that's true.
I agree with that.
Entitled to these services. You are entitled to services. But this whole not voting stuff, like, I'm not okay with it, and I'm not going to be all right.
Okay, I'm not okay with it too. However, I think this is a
What?
very nuanced thing, right? It's a very nuanced thing. His voice does matter, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because sometimes, oh, you're just gonna ignore me. That's cool.
I'm
So,
listening.
so your voice does matter because you never know who's listening, and that could change an outcome for something. Yes, I think everybody should vote because that's a way to collect how you feel and see a certain issue. But I do believe his voice does matter. It does
I
matter.
don't. I don't.
Okay,
That's my opinion. But also, but yes, everybody's entitled to use governmental services, whether you
that's
vote or
right.
not.
Because
That is
we all pay
110%
taxes.
correct.
We all
Because
pay
you all pay
taxes in
taxes,
some way,
so
shape, or form.
you all pay into the pot. But again, like, it's like people can look up your voting record. They can't
Yep.
see who you voted for, but they can see if you vote. They can.
And that's how they figure out who are super voters or not super voters.
I'm a super voter.
Tell them what
Look it
a
up.
super voter is, Courtney.
Super voter, the definition it's like a number of
I
voting.
want to say 8 or 10.
Yeah,
I
super
missed it a
voter.
couple of times. I missed a couple primaries.
I
Yeah,
haven't
it's like
missed. I haven't missed an election since I was 18. I mean, actually, probably 16, but I don't want to get into that.
All right, so Jamel says, I'm in the Oak prison politics. Regardless of the warden, you can maneuver within the system. I again agree with that. But, Courtney's also speaking to a bigger thing. Like, there's a lot of things. There's a lot of bullshit that happens because people don't vote, right? We can look at the president. We can look at, if you don't want to go that high in terms of federal, judges impact lives like crazy. I mean, we've had record number of judges who are on the take. I mean, they did get found out, but a lot of times these people get voted in and nobody checks their records. Nobody checks their records. And that's something that's crazy. Wait a minute. Really?
But that's
Lawrence, you're a non-voter? Wow.
So here's my thing. There's so many, like, the fact that we were talking about the ABLE account. The ABLE account was a function of legislation. The Roth IRA, the Roth account was also a function of legislation. The Roth 401k, also a function of legislation. ERISA, which actually established all these other things, legislation. So again, like,
you could say our whole life is a subject to legislation.
Whole life. So you're just a passenger and you're saying, I'm of the ilk of prison politics. But here's the thing, like, you're acting like you can't control who the warden is.
Well, see, that's the thing, right? And again, me referencing this book, because again, I tell you that this book is probably one of the 18 books in my top 10 after the reread I just had, because now it's affected me and I just keep referencing it. But Dr. King talks about the idea you can't separate economics from politics. You just can't do it.
Yep.
And a lot of people try to. A lot of people are like, I'm just going to get money and I don't care about this. But actual power, specifically if you're talking about it on a local level, it comes through politics. It comes through policy. Specifically a lot of us people that are investors, to Courtney's point, a lot of the accounts that we rely on all were a form of someone advocating for that. Roth 401k is crazy because they snuck that into like a wartime policy. Like it was kind of wild. They backdoored that.
It was the 2001 Bush Tax Act that came in, and it rolled out 5 years later. So basically, the effective date was 5 years later.
But wasn't that part of, like, they were trying to get money to fight? I remember reading about this. It was like an Iraq John, and they snuck like a Roth 401k little piece in there. But anyway, the point is, all of it comes through legislation. And if you want to actually get something done, and specifically, and again, this also could be me speaking from the side of being a real estate developer, getting approvals for zoning and permits and being able to build the things you want to build, you can't ignore politics at all. At all. It just can't be ignored.
I mean, this is actually a great conversation. I want us to go deeper into this, but so Jamel says, I never had any candidates that I would support being. My cousin was married to John Conyers. Shout out to John Conyers. Hopefully y'all did the knowledge of him. He's really very much responsible for a lot of reparations studies. All right, but I've been to backyard barbecues and I see how politicians ain't dookie. That's true. A lot of them are not. I mean, in fact, we were just talking about how a lot of politicians are dumb as shit.
I wasn't saying that. I wasn't saying that.
I didn't. I also didn't say that.
All right, I said it. I said it. A lot of them are dumb as shit. JD Vance is a prime example. All right.
That is not even my position.
What, JD Vance?
No
Oh,
politicians.
okay. All right. We
That's not
moved
my
on. You
position.
didn't say it. I said it. I said it all.
Yeah. Also, I
Yeah.
want you to know because you put me on the Summer Jam screen. I didn't say it either.
You
Right,
didn't
that's
say.
what I'm
I
saying. Like,
said it all. I'm
oh,
sorry. We didn't have that conversation, y'all. That was all
Put
made up.
yourself on the big screen and say it yourself because
That was all made up on my mind.
those were not my thoughts. Those are the thoughts of Kamari Ellis.
That's not a problem. A
some
lot
of
of
the
politicians are dumb as shit. It's seen every day in the policies that are carried out every day. Ask yourself, does this make sense? Ask yourself, does ICE even make sense right now? It doesn't. It's actually hurting our economy because a lot of our quote unquote non-documented people who are here aren't here to do some of the jobs that Americans won't do. And a lot of times, especially with the farms, a lot of times we don't have any replacements. That's part of the reason why food costs are so high. But nobody wants to talk about that. Nobody wants to talk about
I
that.
work with really smart people every day.
Now you're doing too much, Courtney. You ain't have to say that. You could have just been silent.
But I do. Like, I literally
Okay.
do. Like,
All right. Look up Monica Conyers. She helped tank Detroit. I didn't vote for her, and she's blood because I knew she was self-serving and she went to prison for abuse of power. Listen, that's all human beings, though. But here's the thing, to Courtney's point, when you remove yourself out of that, you are intentionally removing yourself from the process of making money. Politics is all about money. Like people say it's about votes, it's really about wealth. So if you don't want to have anything to do with it, I get it, but
I mean, it's really about control, right? It's because the
wealth is
laws and
control.
the laws and rules that we are all live by, right, are decided by people. Now, if you want to have a say so in that, you do, and but if you don't, like use Courtney's term,
Right.
you're just along for the ride.
All right, from judges, ADs,
but you justifying
assistant.
the nonsense. Like, I've seen from judges, AD, police, councilmen, I saw all calls of booger sugar, hedonism, and palm greasing. Okay, fine.
Yep.
But you have the ability to vote for people that won't do that, or people that you believe won't do that. Like,
Or
that's it. Like,
run
you
yourself.
think, like, right, you can try to get yourself in a position.
or
You got to participate.
Or find people who you believe in and get behind them and help run them.
Speaking
Because
of
that's part of
Detroit,
the process too.
speaking of Detroit, one of the
Don't
things
do
that
it.
I
Don't do it.
what?
Oh, okay. I thought you was going to talk about one of their mayors.
No, I was just saying that I hope, and this is no shots. I just hope that I live long enough to see a true like film done about Mr. Kilpatrick's years, because I've read so many articles and books about how he was like carrying it, and I think it would make for a great movie. I just want to see the movie. You know what I'm saying? Like, because he was
foolishness.
Huh? No, I listen though. Listen, he was wilding. Listen, the brother has served his time. He's repented and all that, but the way how he was carrying it, that would be like, man.
I mean, and I find
it's like the Wolf of Wall Street almost.
But I find his story really interesting too, right? Because he was at least second generation, right? So he knew better. He understood how the game was played.
His mom was on council, right?
Correct, something like that.
Yeah, she was a councilman for years.
All right, so Jigga says, I agree with Kamari. You vote with that. Yes, that too. So that, again, that's part of the problem, right? We think voting is all, we think politics is all about voting, but it's so much more. It's so much more. All right, so Jamal says you vote
What
with.
is we talking about, by the way?
Let me read the comment. I'll come back to that. I agree, Kamari. You vote with dollars. Maybe blocks work, but individual participation has little effect. But how do you bring up the block? How do you bring up the block? Those individuals make up those blocks.
That's not even true. Like, we have had in Pennsylvania, we have had elections won by 1 or 2 votes.
Yep.
Like, stop it.
Literally,
Stop with
literally.
Like, stop with the false propaganda. Those votes that actually completely matter. They really do. And you've allowed someone to tell you from whatever you've learned that your vote doesn't matter. And that's not true.
All right, so Lawrence says America hasn't been agriculturally self-sufficient for decades, even with migrants. Food costs would still be up. We import, and other countries aren't as malleable to give up cheaper prices in bulk. So that's true and not true. There are certain things that will be farmed here that are not farmed overseas. And some of those things are more expensive. But yes, America is not food independent at all. At all. Our civilization is anti-black though. It keeps a brother down. No defense, no lying there. But here's my question: is what are we going to do about it? Right, voting is a tool. It's one tool. I'm just saying it's a tool in a toolbox. So sometimes when you go do a job, you got to take your toolbox because you don't know what you're going to do. You might need everything in the toolbox. You might not need anything in the toolbox, but you got to have the toolbox to make sure the job gets done.
But here's the thing: voting is the beginning of the cycle and the process. Also, holding the people that are elected, even if you did not elect them, accountable to the things that they are supposed to be doing and the things they said they were going to do is also part of the process.
So Jamel also says, I feel Kilpatrick would be great service teaching youngins how the political system works, especially with his sentence. Maybe, and that's
If
my
he's learned
issue.
from them.
Yeah, but so this might come off elitist, but I don't think it's not. But I don't think we need to only listen to people, let's say, that say, yo, don't go to jail. To say, jail's bad. You don't gotta hear somebody say that, dummy, don't go to jail.
Yeah,
right? Don't do the crime.
It's
Don't
never
do the
just
crime.
it's never just all of anything. Just because you
Right.
have
I
someone
mean,
that does
listen,
that, you need
that's a
both
great
perspectives.
generalization, right? But I'm talking about those people who are not really about that life. There are some people who are really about that life and don't care at all.
See, because here's the issue, right? And what I find, some of the people that have made the mistakes, like they have it with, and part of their preparing themselves is trying to keep other people making mistakes. Some folks
That
that
is
keep
true.
some folks that keep it clean and don't do anything wrong, they don't feel the need to educate and share a lot of times, right? So
Say that one more time.
it's incumbent upon us that don't go down the wrong path to want to reach out and teach.
I don't
Like a
think
lot of
anybody
times,
cares about that though. I think it's not sexy. It's not sensational.
well, see, that's what I'm saying is you still gotta have the people willing to do it. You do it, right? But you're one
Yes, I
of
do
however
it.
many. But we have a lot of folks that will be in your shoes, whatever, that don't feel the need to do it. Don't do it. Listen, to quote Dr. King again, everybody can be great because everybody can be of service. A lot of people don't feel like they can be of service, though, and they don't do anything.
He getting his bars off today, Courtney.
They just want to sit online and complain and don't do anything. In the words of Leon Sullivan, right? You got to stop talking and do something. That's a Leon Sullivan quote.
But here's the other part of it. I think you can get so one of the things when I started studying for the bar is I asked people who failed the first time and passed on the second time. And I said, well, how did what happened? And, what did you do differently when you studied, the second time around to get you to pass? And I think those are really, really important conversations. I know that we don't want to highlight or elevate those who have kind of gone down the wrong path, but I think so many things can happen inadvertently, all kind of on top of each other. Now, I'm not saying that's what happened with our friend that we're talking about right now, but also kind of saying, hey, be aware of this. Hey, be aware of that. And just be mindful. I mean, I think it really does change the trajectory. We don't want to elevate people, but we also want to say, hey, there is some value learning from mistakes.
I mean, I think you should learn from both, right? I think
you have to.
You
absolutely.
can learn from anybody, right? But here's my thing. I don't think anybody really cares about those who were straight-laced, L7s, corny, right?
I disagree.
Whatever. Okay, you can disagree. I don't, right? I agree with me. So because nobody puts them up. America is in love with criminality. Whether it's black, white, whoever, America is in love with criminality.
Yeah, you just be generalizing, but because here's what I'll say, man. First of all, I want to shout out all the L7s and squares that have poured into me because I learned from both. But if I'm being honest, a lot of times it's the people. One of the reasons I've been investing since I was a teenager is because of all the people that kept telling me, like, hey, if I can go back, this is what I would do. I learned a lot from that. I think you can learn a lot from anything. Listen, I learned from folks on the street that have nothing. And I've learned from people that have everything.
You can learn from anybody.
But what I'm saying is, I think it's kind of.
Highlighted. Wait, let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question real quick, Jim. How many times have you seen people say, "I'm not going to listen to this person because they're poor or they don't make as much money"?
So that's a thing.
Answer the question.
Well, because I can't give you a number, but I mean, I have heard it. I'm not going to say. I'm not going to say I haven't heard it. Okay. But to say that the other ones, listen. We just got awarded last night for the work that we do. So what I'm saying is, I think it's unfair to say that people don't care or it's not. They showed us
on a summer jam screen.
No, but what I'm saying is they showed us
6,
that
Channel 3, 29,
listen,
17, 57.
but I don't care about that. The people that need to see it,
care
they
about
see
it.
it.
I care about it.
But that just come again, like I told you, this entire show we've been on here. Sometimes it's about your PR. There are evil people with good PR, and there are sometimes good people with no PR. That's about PR. But I don't think that it's fair to say that people don't care, because people do care. They just showed us they care. I got another award here. I got earlier. Shout out, to Opulent Realty Group. They gave me an award for the same thing, community work, right? So I got an award right here from another organization, right? So to say that people don't care,
well, we showing up.
And by the way, I'm not out here telling nobody I went to jail. I've never been to jail. That's not what I'm into. So,
okay.
But so that's why I think it's unfair, because the people have shown us.
Unfair.
No, people have shown us that they do see, they do appreciate it. So
you're a data guy. Do a Google search. How many times successful unjailed people, unprisoned people have been in the highlights and media versus the non-folks?
But you ask yourself this question. So I have friends. Listen, hear me out.
No. But I asked you a question. You're not even acknowledging it.
Because I'm answering your question, because you can't just ask that question.
Another question.
Well, again, this is data, right? So it comes in terms of variables. What are the variables? And what I mean by that is I have family and friends that are straight-laced L7s. They don't volunteer anything. I also have family and friends who've been inside and done things. They volunteer all the time because of the mistakes they made. So you can't just do that comparison when a lot of the L7s don't even care. They don't care themselves to get back.
A lot of them don't. And a lot of the criminals don't care either. But all right, I want
they don't. But there's a number that do. Half of the Little League football coaches.
There's a bunch of L7s that care. But I'm saying about society as a whole, it is a generalization. But
and again, again,
hold on, let me finish this. I've heard the one vote argument, even with Adolf. My perspective wasn't fed. It's just been that way since coming home. See, I didn't want to mention that, Jamel, but okay. And I feel the educated are fighting the uneducated checkboxes. Now, Jamel, I have a question. What do you mean by that? I feel the educated are fighting the uneducated checkboxes. Because I love them. I love them all, to be honest, right? I don't have a problem with the uneducated.
Also, I want to also shout out 100 black men, because those are, people that put the work in, and people.
Shout out to them.
And people that do care. So I that's why I said I think it's unfair to generalize that way.
But we're having a conversation for the general people, Jimmy. So I can't always talk about specific people.
Yeah, but
Jimmy,
you can't generalize that way either.
You got all the awards, so I thank you for your service, sir.
You see the slander here, Courtney? You see this?
No, I'm dead serious.
You got two awards behind you too.
Stop. I'm dead serious when I say that. Like, I don't know if you notice this. Every time we talk about the camp, I always say Jimmy and Corey have been doing this for over 10 years. I just started with the camp this year. I'm proud of that for y'all. And I always want to give y'all flowers for having the vision, not just the vision, but executing on doing that. So no, that's not slander. We joke a lot, but that wasn't slander. I'm dead serious.
That was slander. Also, before we get out of here, I just want to shout out the ancestor as well, because this is one of my sheroes. So I always rep her. And I think that she is proof of kind of what we're talking about in terms of having a voice, because she had a 6th grade education. She wasn't the most articulate, but she had a heart and she cared, and she fought on the front lines for people. And the fact that she was able to do so. And for those who don't know who I'm speaking about, it's Fannie Lou Hamer. So look up Fannie Lou Hamer if you're not familiar with Fannie Lou Hamer.
Again, Jim. Show you. Hold on, let me take this down. Go ahead, show it again.
All right, so this is. I'm just repping Fannie Lou. I try to rep Fannie Lou as much as I can,
because she's
the
truth.
Yeah, she's one of the people that I really appreciate. Like, in the
nobody's free until everybody's free.
That's the quote. Nobody's free until everybody's free. So anyway, I say all that to say, the groundwork, the blueprint has been laid. And one of the things she fought on was she literally was harmed physically because she was trying to vote. And
all right, so quick scoop. I don't understand this. Blacks don't want civilization. Blacks want freedom. Listen, blacks created civilization, but blacks want freedom. Civilization is virtue signaling and corny balls telling brothers what to do. I don't know what any of that means, bro, or sis. Give me expound on that, please. All right, Jigga says the uneducated box checkers don't even follow or go to city council meetings. They just show off their dump stickers to show they participated for likes and loves. So that's tricky. That's tricky, but that's tricky, Courtney. Go ahead.
Because here's my thing though. I think it's real crazy, and this I don't usually ever come out and I don't really have a lot of controversial things that I say. But here's the thing: I think it's real crazy that people who you're saying something, um, you're saying something that's unflattering about people who are voting, and so they're exercising whatever it is. They're exercising their right to vote that people died for, that people really kind of went through the fire to the point of what Jimmy was saying, Family Hamer was injured for trying to vote. You got a lot of shade for these people, but you not voting. Like you're literally not exercising the right that people died for. And I just think that's crazy. I think that you got all well, if you're educated, then if you are truly educated about civics, then you know that you need to be taking yourself to the ballot box. You also know that you need to be holding people accountable. You should also not be just going to meetings, but you should be reading the statutes and ordinances that apply to you.
But I disagree with the point anyway, because again, I've been in spaces, the people that vote, whether they're educated or not, have the ability to stop things and have stopped things in terms of school closures, in terms of funding, in terms of everything. People tend to organize over things they care about. And I've seen like groups in certain neighborhoods of quote unquote uneducated box checkers who got together and got stuff done. So I just don't like that whole thing. And speaking of Fannie Lou, well, she didn't even realize she was able to vote till she was in her 40s. And when she did, she went to register and they beat her, caused partial blindness, and like injured one of her kidneys. And all she was trying to do, because what she realized is she took people with her, and we're gonna all register to vote. And they were so afraid of her organizing people to get the voting blocks that they literally beat her. Literally.
So to the other point of what Jimmy was saying is that Philadelphia is run by a city charter. And there on many occasions changes to the city charter that the electorate, the people who vote in the city of Philadelphia, are charged with voting on. And so again, we're literally changing the actual laws. The voters are changing the actual laws that guide the city. So again, yeah. So, go ahead.
So I have a question, but before we go, Jamal, I encourage you. I know you like to read. I know you want to be educated or are educated because I could tell. Look up a brother by the name of Octavius Cato. So I'll put him over on the screen. You can learn about him. Phenomenal story.
Where's the statue? Do you have the statue up? That's outside City Hall?
It's somewhere.
Yeah, he has a statue here in Philadelphia now.
Philadelphia, yes.
You know the crazy part about this, and this goes to, Courtney talked about earlier how you ride by Progress Plaza, you don't know the history.
Yeah.
I wasn't familiar with his story until the statue. Getting the statue made me do the research because I was like, how does dude get a statue? Who is he? Right. And I did the research, and then I realized how much of a beast he was. But not only him, his wife was a beast too.
I think I know about the wife.
Yeah, I mean, hold up. She was a beast too. Let me get you her story.
That's why. I mean, but just start.
His wife, by the way, well, actually, they were engaged. It says here they were engaged and actually were never legally married. His fiance was Carolyn LeCount, who now has a full street. Okay. She now has a full street in Philadelphia named after her called LeCount Street.
Is that the one they renamed after?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Cool.
That was his woman.
That's deep.
So
it's not sharing properly. I don't know why, but I do have a question, right? And I think this question you will see play out in Philadelphia and other major metropolitan areas that have Black people. So when we go in the city of Philadelphia, can you tell what parts of the city, talking about Black parts, vote versus others?
Yeah, and by the way, LeCount, one of the things LeCount did was get the buses desegregated. This was way before Rosa Parks. She got it done in Philadelphia.
So, Jimmy, did you hear my question?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. I was reading the LeCount.
So I was asking.
I put up my ward number.
And what's your ward number?
22.
22. So the question
was...
The
second highest voting turnout is always the 22nd district.
So
we are the most...
Relax, Courtney. Can you tell different areas how they vote versus how they don't vote, or if they don't vote? I don't know if I'm messing it up now. Can you look at a neighborhood and tell if they have a better quality of life or a lower quality of life based on how they vote.
Absolutely, because an area award specifically. So we're broken down a ward. And by the way, when I was younger, I was a committee person, so I know exactly how this works. So based upon your voter turnout determines what kind of resources you get. In fact, there are areas that have a low voter turnout. Candidates don't even care to show up and even like ask for their vote.
Why is that? Why don't they even show up?
Because what's the point? You're not going to vote anyway. Therefore, I don't even have to allocate resources to you because you're not fighting for anything. You're not with the way it's looked at. You're not even asking for anything. You're not showing up, so you don't even want anything. You're fine. So go be fine. I'm going to focus on those that show up in droves and those that demand and hold me accountable. That's where I have to go.
Now, Courtney, you were throwing up the two twos. Can you answer that question? Do you see a difference?
Do I? So here's the thing. I don't spend a whole bunch of time in other wards, so I think that's a really
so just driving through the city. You don't know different people in different areas. I know you look at voter rolls, right? Can you look at the voter rolls and look at how their neighborhoods are treated, how much attention they get from the city, who gets shoveled first or plowed first versus others?
Well, you gotta be careful with the questions you asking, man.
Right. First of all, it was slip and slide records last week here, so I don't know.
What's what?
So our sleeps were not done last week, so I don't know what to tell you there. They were not. It was slip and slide records. So I mean, I don't know. I don't.
All right, so I'll say this. There was a story not too far from you, Courtney. A company wanted to open up a dispensary, I believe. It was the old bank.
But yes, so
the neighbors shut that shit down.
Well, but here's the other thing, and I think there's always more context to it. And then I gotta get off because I'm hungry.
Me too.
So because y'all have not paid me no mind in any of my messages that I'm hungry. So the issue is
you could have told us that.
I just did.
Okay, I'm listening.
I'm waiting for Kamari.
Anyway, so what happened was that yes, they were going to put a dispensary, but dispensaries are cash heavy businesses because of 280E, and all the other problems.
280E is a tax code. Go ahead.
It's tax code, right? It prohibits businesses from taking the ordinary necessary expenses of business if they are dealing with a Schedule 1 or Schedule 2 drug. I've talked about the gentleman who actually caused this whole issue before. What was it, Jeff? His name was Jeff. That's a whole situation. We like Jeff. That's a pretty funny story. But I say that to say it's a cash business because of banking issues and federal laws. And they were going to put it in a bank in a location that used to be a bank that used to get robbed all the time. The reason why that bank closed is because it used to get robbed all the time. So you're going to put a cash heavy business in the location that used to get robbed all the time. Make it make sense.
But my point is the voters in that area shut that shit down.
They did.
And that was because they all had pipelines to their elected officials.
That's true.
So that's all. And I was going to say, I bet that probably plays out in other Black dominated areas across the country.
Listen, what I'll tell you this, and Uptown always has some of the highest voter turnout. And so there hasn't been a person to win as the mayor without winning Uptown.
Correct. And for all of y'all who are not from Philly, Uptown is the northwest section of Philadelphia, or part of it.
And it's the section that looks beautiful, right? So
22.
All right. So that's just something I think. So look up Octavius Cato, y'all. Great Black history. Great Black history.
And look up his queen, Carolyn LeCount, too, because like they both got honored recently.
Now, I do want to speak to one point about drinking, then we'll get out of here. I will concede that I believe the point he's trying to make is a lot of people don't truly research the facts and issues. I know I don't research everything. It's impossible for everybody to know everything, right? But I do believe a lot of times the voters are more informed than those people who don't vote. So again, it's a generalization. But I understand what you're talking about. A lot of people just go along and get along. They haven't done the research, and that's an issue. And I think that's an issue across the board. And I don't think.
But before we get out of here, get to Jamil's comment, because I think that was an excellent comment. And thank you, Jamil, because at least you're not closed-minded.
See you next time. All right. See you next time in the Netherlands. All right. Salutes to you.
Salute to the Netherlands.
All right. All right, Jamal says I'm not saying that quote. I'm saying that I've been getting shamed by those who have no leg to stand on. I can accept you checking me because you are active and you know your stuff. Okay, I get what you're saying now.
No, get to his next comment.
All right, speaking of statutes, most voters don't even know what, right, that's what I was speaking to before. Don't know what laws have passed and go into effect in their state of municipality January 1st. That's
Talk
a
about
fact.
the next one, beloved.
This one here. I appreciate all three of you, even more so. So he's shouting out Courtney. I think it's because she's a girl and prettier than us.
No, read what he said, because this is real.
I always accept constructive criticism, and we'll go back to the lab and reconsider my potential errors. All right.
I appreciate that, because that listen, when I get because
it's all love. It's all love. I just want
it
you to
is
know that.
absolutely all love. And here's the thing that I love about what you said is that I watch because here's the thing, you can read the legislation all day, but one of the things that's really important from a legal perspective is what we call the legislative history. So it's what's said on the floor. Like, so if there's ever a question about legislative intent and we kind of don't know, we will actually, as attorneys, go to the records of what was said on in the legislature when they were passing it to see if we can figure out what they were thinking. So it's important that you are watching it because you're understanding the background behind the laws. And I appreciate they're saying, hey, and I agree with you. Most people don't know. Most people don't know who their electeds are on the state, local, or federal level, which I appreciate that. But so in Pennsylvania, I don't know if in your state, you might want to say who's my legislator and put your state in. Pennsylvania, you can look it up and you can put your address in and it will tell you who all your people are. So that's really a good way to get started.
Hey, Courtney, text me that link too, because I want to be able to send that link to people. I'm going to save that. I'm going to copy that in my notes. But because here's the thing, I'll tell you real fast, Jamil, and this is from personal experience, because I was one of those guys back in the day, like I'm just going to get money. I've always voted because, again, I told you, I was raised in politics and I was a committee person. But I've had like legislation on a federal level and a local level affect my pocket. And when I saw that, I said, okay. And I tell you, right? So I had an online casino years ago.
Oh, I know you were gonna share that story again. You shared it once before.
No, I have, right? So Bush passed legislation that kind of made it illegal. So I had a setup where it was offshore. I just owned a domain name. We split the money, and I had an online casino back in the early 2000s. This is the Bush era, right? And during the NFL season, I was making a couple grand a week. This is before all that.
88. Damn.
No, but hear me out though. One swipe of a pen, my whole thing was shut down. So imagine having a side business you thought you discovered, you thinking you're smart and you got money, and then with the swipe of one piece of legislation, is gone and never to return. Also, I woke up one morning and the city council person passed a law on a block that I own, like land, that okay, as of this date, you can no longer have 3-story properties in this little district here. And it's like, hold up, where was I at when y'all were even voting on this? Right? I felt stupid. Like, hold up, so now I can't build 3 stories. So you're talking about being able to build a 3-story property that's probably worth $500,600,000. Now I have to may lose half of that just based upon someone taking the pen and signing a piece of legislation. And I probably could have, not saying personally, but you could have organized, because organizing is a thing, and fought against that. But if you don't know, you don't know.
Right.
So I'm just saying it can affect your pocket.
All right. One last question.
So he had a question about how, looking up.
All right, so who actually gets to have their issues on the ballot?
But there was another question before.
All right, well, let me finish this one and I'll go back. So who actually gets to have their issues on the ballot so you can vote on them? I don't see us as the lobbyists. So I want to be clear. Lobbying happens at local, state, and federal levels. There's a lot of Black lobbyists at the local and state level. There are some at the federal level, but not as many. Not as many. But everybody has a charter or a constitution for that. You should look at that. A lot of times the ballot questions, Simone, I'm not sure where you're from, but you should look up all that. How do you change the laws in your area? Is this the question?
Yeah. So, Court, how do you suggest considering a candidate and also observing the total ballot versus the main offices?
That's a great question. So we should do a Civics 101. We should do a Civics 101 and go do a deep dive, but please address this, Court.
So I think it depends on, as a candidate, the question is always going to be have they been in office before? in that office or another office, like what, so you would kind of like look at them as if they're new to politics. Okay, cool. What have they been doing on the community level? Have they been organizing? Like, what have they been doing there? And then does their rhetoric, regardless if they were community organizer or if they were, previously elected, does their rhetoric actually match what they're doing? So community organizer, if they're saying they do these things, are they looking to do those things in their hopeful elected position? But the next thing is that my other thing is, can they do what they're trying to do in that elected position too? Because a lot of people like will run on this thing like, I'm going to fix Medicaid, but you're a state, you're a local elected official. You're not fixing Medicaid. That's a federal program or a state program. It's a state program, it's state and federal. But again, it's like, so you're a local person trying to affect this particular thing that has nothing to do with your jurisdiction. So understanding, like, what are they saying? Do they have a proven track record of the things that they care about? If they're previously previously elected, like, what are they voting on? What have they voted on? What is their voting record? And if they're community activists, like, are they educating themselves enough to say, hey, when they what are they doing to be ready on day one? So, like, are they actually educated about what they can do in that position, that particular position? So all of those things together.
So real quick, when we get out of here, I have a question for everybody. Would y'all like us to do a Civics 101 episode?
I need one myself. Doesn't Michael Kort teach a civics class? I need to take one myself.
I'm sure he does, but put a one in the chat, y'all. Matter of fact, we should probably do one live also. But put a one in the chat if y'all would like us to see us do a Civics 101 class.
I need my own class.
What's that?
I said I need to take a class myself. I think that civics is something that you just can't learn one time. Because,
no, it's an ongoing thing. It's an ongoing thing. It's like learning stock. You don't learn stock once.
Yeah. So for me, I feel like I need to take an updated version of a civics class because, like, now with the technology in the world we live in, I feel like, last time I took a civics class, holy smoke.
Anyway, and this will be nonpartisan, y'all. We don't care about parties. We're going to talk about the issues, the systems, how people can leverage it. So tell us.
I think we already got enough ones. I got to jump off here anyway. Okay. I just realized I got a meeting at 5:00. But it is what it is.
All right, y'all. Listen, there's an election every 6 months, not once a year, every 6 months. So be sure to look up the vote. And Jimmy, you're not like Courtney. Stop trying to be like her.
Yo.
All right, y'all. Until the next time, we'll see y'all later.
All right, peace, y'all. Love,
Thank you, everybody. Appreciate y'all.